Naruto, age 12, Konoha's resident blonde Gaki, was elated that he, in all his 12-year-old glory, would finally become a ninja. He'd been waiting so long to be a shinobi, just like his parents. It was graduation day, and that meant that the students would become full-fledged ninjas and all of the responsibilities and expectations that came along with it. The current class was possibly the most talented class in the last 20 years, including 7 clan children, 5 of which were first-in-line heirs. The son of the late 4th Hokage, a girl full of potential with intelligence to match yes, a new generation. Naruto Namikaze, the son of the late 4th Hokage and the sole Uzumaki survivor, was in class and extremely bored as his teacher, Irika, went on about how this was the most important day of their lives. Today is examination day, and for most, the hardest test you will have taken up to this point. This is your first step to becoming a ninja. Irika recited his speech, even though he saw boredom and other various reactions throughout the classroom, such as Naruto looking completely disinterested. The rest of the class was faring no better, as Sasuke seemed impatient, told by the repeated tapping of his foot. Shikamaru and Kiba were both fast asleep in the back. Chuji was munching distractedly on some snacks, and Ino was absently fiddling with her hair, subconsciously trying to smooth it out. Shino, Hinata, and Sakura seemed to be the only ones paying attention, although it was hard to tell with Shino, as his shades and high-collared jacket hid most of his face. After Irika's speech, he then started to pass out papers as graduation included the final exam, the student's last roadblock in becoming genin. The final exam was comprised of 3 tests. A written exam to test general knowledge, as ninja needed at least basic intelligence. A practical test to evaluate shuriken and kunai usage in basic taijutsu, and last but not least, a ninjutsu evaluation that went over substitution, transformation, and clone jutsus. As Naruto received his test, he grew really nervous, as he was not the best at written exams, as he tended to lean on the physical side of being a ninja. His hand started to shake as he grabbed his pencil, and he closed his eyes, breathing in and out slowly to calm himself. It was one of the few things his mother had been able to teach him before she passed away. Scanning his test, he realized there were only 5 questions, which came as a huge relief. The first question was simple enough, as it just wanted him to list the 12 basic hand seals. Bird, boar, dog, dragon, ox, tiger, snake, rat, horse, monkey, hare, ram, he thought as he scribbled them down, his chicken scratch just barely legible. The second question prompted him to list and explain his knowledge of the 3 basic types of jutsu: ninjutsu, jinjutsu, and taijutsu, which was easy enough. After that, he easily recalled the 5 basic elements of ninjutsu. The fourth question highly amused him, considering it asked for the listing of all Konoha's Hokages. He knew 3 out of 4 of them, and the 4th was his father, so he didn't have any trouble there. The final question asked for the 5 great shinobi villages, which he quickly wrote down: Kanahagakure, Sunagakure, Iwagakure, Kirigakure, and Kimogakure. As Naruto set down his pencil, he saw a few more students finishing up their tests. Based upon Irika getting up from his desk, he could tell that the written test was almost over. As the last person finished their test, Irika stood in front of the class. Academy Training Grounds. All right, Now let's go outside to the Kenai range for the physical test, Irika announced as he ushered everyone outside. Outside the academy were the training grounds. They were separated into 3 sections, with the fourth being the entrance. On one side was a simple open field where students usually did their taijutsu practices. On the other was the Kenai range. The Kenai range was nothing special, just 5 targets lined up with some chalk on the ground to mark throwing distance. It had little tables next to the chalk with neat rows of Kenai and shuriken. All right, you may pick to throw shuriken or Kenai. It's up to your preference, and you can use up to 5. Now line up in alphabetical order. The first 5 go first. Mizuki, Irika's assistant instructor, announced once the children had filed out. After most of the students, it was only 3 students left, as there wasn't a good amount of students to make a multiple of 5. The only remaining students were Naruto Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha, and Ino Yamanaka, as they all had late last names. Ino picked up her Kenai in confidence as she started to fire them off one by one. The target had multiple lines, but the middle circle was the goal, which gives 10 points. Ino hit the first 4 on in the middle, but didn't give herself enough room on the 5th in the middle, so it bounced off, leaving her with a 40. As she walked off, she said to the remaining boys, "The show's all your boys," said Ino as she skipped back to the rest of the students. Naruto and Sasuke were rivals. They pushed each other at a lot of things, from fighting to racing, and the test was not excused from the rivalry. Sasuke was clearly the best boy in the class, but Naruto always gives him a run for his money. And this challenge was a simple one. Instead of simply facing the target, they would have spinned before launching all 5 of their weapons at once. Sasuke chose Kunai, while Naruto chose Shuriken. They spun 10 times to make them dizzy, then counted to 3. 1, said Sasuke as he raised his kunai in preparation. 2, said Naruto as he was regaining composure. 3, they both said as they launched the weapons. 50 for both Naruto and Sasuke. All right, next test. Let's go back inside, said Irika as he wrote the score down and led the class back inside. The rest of the test was boring, as the class had to one by one sit through each student's jutsus, and it unexpectedly took longer that Irika told the kids who already passed and received their headbands to start heading home and celebrate with their families, and for those who didn't, to try harder next year. Eventually it got to Naruto and was nervous but scared. He performed the transformation jutsu perfectly. The substitution perfect, but the clone was only good as he only made it 2 clones, but with that combined with his other test scores, he passed. Congratulations, Naruto, said Irika as he handed him a headband. Thanks, Sensei, said Naruto as he stared at his headband all the way out the academy, until he bumped into something. Come on, Naruto, I know you're happy, but watch where you're going, said a girl. Sorry, Amma, I wasn't watching where I was going, said Naruto. Amma was a 9-year-old girl with red hair, with violet-like eyes. She was the current Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox, but she didn't know that. Only the village higher-ups and a select few like Naruto knew she was a Jinchuriki. She is also Naruto's sister, which she is also unaware of. The Hokage and the council decided that protecting Amma's identity as the Jinchuriki and daughter of the 4th Hokage was needed by separating her from her brother, as they don't want others to know who is the Jinchuriki, and the addition of being the 4th's daughter will have even more enemies after her than Naruto, since girls are more valuable to outsiders. This also adds the possibility of her having a normal life, as she would grow up seemingly as a civilian with the last name Uzumaki because of the red hair. "It's okay, I understand you're happy," said Alma. "I'm so happy that I'm even going to offer ramen for the both of us," said Naruto as he exclaimed. "Yay, at Ichiraku." As Naruto and Alma were eating at Ichiraku, gulping down their ramen, Alma keeps asking Naruto questions about the test, but Naruto keeps waving them off or giving her a brief answer which just infuriates her. "Come on, Naruto, why can't you tell me about the written test? I'm not even asking about the clone jutsu this time," whined Alma. "Because it will give you an unfair advantage than the other kids," said Naruto as he got his third bowl of ramen. "But I'm already at a disadvantage. The teachers won't help me. Please, bro," said Alma as she knows whenever she calls him brother, he has a soft spot for her, unaware of her situation in Naruto's perspective. "Another time, Alma. Besides, you got about 3 years before you should be concerned about the test," responded Naruto softly. "I know, but I wanted to shut this kid Kinomaru up. He's so loud and cocky. It's so annoying. And since he's a boy and I'm a girl, I won't get a chance to beat him up in the taijutsu spars and dash." "I get it, but you're going to have to fight through it," said Naruto as he remembers how Sakura used to be. "All right, but promise me that when I do become a genin, and I will, that you will help train me." "All right, bro," said Alma as she held her pinky finger out. "Fine, I promise, sis," conceded Naruto as he wrapped his pinky finger around hers. Academy. All the graduates were in their former classroom waiting on Irika to give out their teams. A lot of the kids were just talking about what teammates they would like, how they would want their sensei to be like. "All right, Jinin, I have the team assignments, and I'm announcing them," said Irika as he read off the teams. "Team 1. And Naruto-kun?" said Hinata, trying to get his attention. "Yeah, Hinata, what's up?" said Naruto as he stopped listening to Kiba's wild prediction on how hot his sensei will be. "Do you know the teams?" "I mean, I know the third Hokage tells you a lot, so," asked Hinata. "Sorry, Hinata. I don't. Grandpa made it really hard for me to find out. I guess he really wants this to be a surprise." "Team 7, said Irika louder to get more attention. "Sasuke Uchiha, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame. Your sensei is Kakashi Hitaki." "Team 8, Sakura Haruno, Kiba Inuzuka, and Choji Akimichi. Your sensei is Kurinai Yuhi." Team 9 is still in rotation. Next is Team 10, which consists of Naruto Namikaze, Ino Yamanaka, and Shikamaru Nara, and your sensei is Asuma Sarutobi. Team 11. "Well, it looks like we're not on the same team, Hinata. And now you're a Sasuke. I wish you luck," said Naruto. "Yeah. Well, Sasuke isn't that bad, right?" asked Hinata. "Well, he's stubborn and hot-headed, with a superiority complex dash." "I heard that," said Sasuke as he turned around in his seat to confront Naruto. "Good, now don't give Hinata and Shino a hard time. They're nice unlike you," responded Naruto. As they were going back and forth, a lot of the other team senseis were picking up their teams until there were only 9 students left. "All right, teammate, I'm your sensei, come with me," said the woman, presumably Kurinai. "Woo, I told y'all that my sensei would be hot," Kiba said as he raced out of the classroom after his sensei. "Wish me luck, Shikamaru," said Choji towards Shikamaru, his best friend. "Trust me, I do," responded Shikamaru as he truly felt sorry for his best friend, as he was stuck with arguably the loudest kid in the classroom. As Kiba Choji and Sakura left Team 10 Sensei, came in Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru. Come with me, said the man which would be presumed to be Asuma. Well, Sasuke behave, or Hinata will have to make you, taunted Naruto as he made his way out with Ino and Shikamaru. Training Ground 10. Well, I can assume you all know each other already, so feel free to ask any question for me, said Asuma as he lit a cigarette. Give us a brief description of yourself, said Ino. Well, my name is Asuma Sartobi. My hobby is playing shogi, and my favorite food is soba. My question is, why am I on this team? Asked Naruto, which gained the attention from everyone. What do you mean? Asked Asuma. This was actually my question too, said Shikun. Why is Choji not on this squad to keep the Ino Shikacho tradition up? Well, first, it's not really a tradition. It just managed to be a coincidence for a while. You see, it used to be the most intelligent student, usually a Yamanaka, with the second or third strongest student, usually a Kimichi, and the laziest student, usually a Nara. But Choji was actually the fourth strongest, and Naruto was the second or third strongest in your class. Ino was your most intelligent based on the written test results, and Shikamaru was easily the laziest student. They did this so that the brain and brawn of the team could motivate the laziest of the team, answers Suma. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense, said Ino. Yeah, well, anyways, it's time for the test to see if you should really be genin. And before you ask, this is happening with the other teams as well. It's to see if the academy test was a fluke or not, and to see if I personally feel if you're ready, said Asuma as he stood up from his spot, still smoking his cigarette. This test is a 33% pass rate, meaning of the 27 genin who passed, only about 9 will pass. All right, what's the test? Asked Shikamaru as he and the other two stood up as well. Simple, the goal is to trap me in any way necessary. Attack me seriously, or you won't stand a chance. If the trap is too weak, I will break out of it. So the trap has to be a good one, said Asuma as the wind blew and leaves started flowing in the wind. Asuma grabbed one out of the air. The test begins when this leaf hits the ground. The leaf hits the ground, and Asuma seemingly vanished. Body flicker. He also wants us to find him, said Naruto, recognizing the technique. Good, this gives us time. He never gave us a time limit, so we had time to plan, said Shikamaru. We need to go over what we are good at and what techniques we can use. All I have is the mind-body transfer jutsu, said Ino. That will be the main way we trap him, since if he can break out a lot of things means that we need to attack more than just his body, said Shikamaru. I have the shadow paralysis and shadow imitation, but based on the time of day, I won't have that much longer to use them effectively. They all looked at the sun as it was already sunset, meaning it will be night soon, and Shikamaru's shadows will be almost useless. What about you, Naruto, outside of the academy? Jutsus, we never see you use any jutsu, asked Ino. Well, most of my jutsus are offensive, but the ones that can be used here are my chains, Naruto said as he simultaneously grew chakra chains out of his hands. How far can they go? Asked Shikamaru, interrupting Naruto. As much as my chakra can allow, but they're still chains, so they don't just bend at will like your shadows, said Naruto. Rawood, sorry for stopping you. It's fine, I also have some elemental jutsu. My favorite is my wind style. Blow away jutsu. Blow away? Questioned Ino. Yeah, Naruto said as he crossed his finger and formed a shadow clone, which raised the eyebrow of both Shikamaru and Ino. Naruto placed his hand on the clone's chest and released his jutsu. Blow away! Naruto's hand erupted with a powerful wind, blowing his clone forcibly back, even off its feet. Then it disappeared as hit the tree behind it. The wind itself did not damage, but it pushed his clone back so hard that I even felt it, analyzed Shikamaru. All right, Chains, Wind, and the clone jutsu. We can make a plan with those, said Ino enthusiastically. Oh, and I also have that jutsu that I haven't used in a while, Naruto said cryptically to the two who immediately understood. In the trees behind the Misuma was lurking curious what was taking them so long, until he remembered he didn't give them a time limit. But it doesn't matter, this allows him to see how their teamwork and planning skills are until a large barrage of kunai and shuriken were hauled his way. Asuma jumped out of the trees and back into the open. Good you found me now. I hope you found a plan yet. Before he knew it, Naruto and Ino blitzed him in close range combat. Ino went for a low sweep kick, which made Asuma simply jump back a little out of the kick's range. Ino followed up still in the spinning motion with some kunai, throwing which made Asuma move to his right. Naruto followed up going for a chest blow with his right fist. Asuma planned to simple block it, but almost as soon as his made contact, his hand opened up. Wind style blow away. Asuma felt the powerful wind pushing him back even when using chakra on his feet. The wind kept going. Asuma knew it would be a while before Naruto stops with the wind, so he spits out his cigarette and proceeded to use his own wind style. Wind style great breakthrough. The winds clashed against each other, fighting for dominance, but it was clear Asuma was winning. Naruto's holding his own. He must be a wind nature, thought Asuma. He felt something creeping behind him, only to glance back to see a shadow approaching his own. He quickly flickered away to avoid the shadow, only to find Ino ready to engage in taijutsu again. Ino went for a roundhouse kick, which was easily grabbed by Asuma and thrown towards Shikamaru direction. As this was happening, Naruto went in for an opening while Asuma's back was turned, but was dodged by Asuma. Naruto overthrew his punch, and resulting to somersault back into a better position. Asuma, not the passive type, went in for the opening, but before he knew it, he felt a kick in the back. Damn, he learned it, thought Asuma. When did he mark me? Meanwhile, Ino and Shikamaru were also amazed by the jutsu, even though they have saw it before, although that was years ago. Flying Thunder God Jutsu started to explain Naruto, a space and time jutsu where it instantly teleports the user to formula where it lies on. It's the jutsu that made my dad the famous Yellow Flash. As he was explaining, he was landing small blows on Asuma, who was trying to figure out the pattern. This was obviously the first time Asuma experienced the jutsu, but based on his studies and talks from Kakashi, that if you can predict where the user is going to be, then you can beat, but it's about being at least 3 steps ahead of them. Step 1, make a feint to have them go to the best spot for them to either escape or attack perfectly. Asuma was thinking through the process he has heard over the years. Asuma saw Naruto and his stance went for a punch, but Naruto teleported. Step 2, go for the most obvious opening after the feint. Naruto teleported behind Asuma with an intention to attack around the legs, but Asuma did a no-look kick behind him, which almost got Naruto, but he teleported. Step 3, after forcing him to the best attack direction, now go for any spot that is within the user's field of vision, otherwise you're screwed. Naruto teleported to Asuma's left with the thought that most people are right dominated as left will be weaker, but was surprised when he felt a fist in his gut. Nice try, but you telegraphed your moves too much, said Asuma, as he watched Naruto kneel over maybe too much force on that one. Ow, coughed Naruto. You went for the best place to attack, which shows how good of a fighter you are, but it makes it predictable. And once I almost caught you, you panicked and went for what you could quickly see, which was my left thinking I was right-sided, but I'm ambidextrous, explained Asuma. Damn, just like the third, commented Naruto, but soon received a kick to his stomach that launched him back to his teammates. Well, plan A didn't work, commented Shikamaru. Plan B then. Ino said also asked Naruto as she helped Naruto up. Yeah, I thought I could surprise him with that, but let's go your way, said Naruto upset. He couldn't surprise Asuma. All right, go, said Ino. Naruto made 6 clones, making 7 Narutos, and they approached Asuma, until a shadow from one of the clones extended towards Asuma, forcing him to jump back. He's using the clone shadow to extend his range to catch me, thought Asuma, impressed. Asuma felt something behind him and luckily dodged in time as Ino made it behind him and started throwing kunai. Seeing as he was pinned, he fled into the forest which the genin followed him into. They managed to pin him against a tree with the Narutos surrounding him from all angles. Shikamaru came out from behind the tree Asuma was pinned to and revealed that he had Asuma in his shadow. You used the shadow of a tree to get me, but this will wear off soon, said Asuma, as looked at the sun and saw it was nearly set. Suddenly, he clones dispelled, and Asuma fell out of control of his body, and before he knew it, as he regained control, he was tied with ninja wired to the tree from shoulder to toe. He also noticed that a kunai was to his neck, and Ino and Naruto were in front of him with kunai and shuriken ready, as well as more sunlight than before. Asuma tried to recall to happen, and he thinks he has a good guess. You used Naruto's clone smoke to cover up Ino's mind transfer, which left me unable for a few seconds, but that was enough time for one of you to tie me up, and you used Naruto's wind to make an opening in the trees for more sunlight, to keep your shadow paralysis up longer, said Asuma. Yeah, the only way to actually trap you is if you were in a life or death situation. So, with this kunai, I could have killed you otherwise, Naruto, and Ino would be right here ready for an escape, said Shikamaru. I kept the shadow paralysis for insurance. I still have the mark on you, so I can keep chasing you if you try to escape, added Naruto. And I could have held you for a longer time with my jutsu, which would have guaranteed a capture. So, did we pass, Sensei? Said Ino. Yeah, you pass, said Asuma. Asterisk, give me a cigarette training. Look, as your sensei, it's my job to teach you, so you can let me know if there's something to learn or something you need to improve on, said Asuma. We got luck seeing, as you all already know how to walk on trees and water, so we can skip that part. But as Genin, it's important to improve all aspects, then focus on specialization once you reach Chunin. You all have skills, but I need to make sure you can survive on your own if I have to leave you all on mission, whether there is an emergency or I simply trust you to be on your own for a while. So today, let's work on taijutsu. I need to see how good each of you are in taijutsu. This is boring. Naruto's already way better than us at taijutsu. We don't stand a chance, said Shikamaru, as he groaned loudly at the thought of facing Naruto in just taijutsu. Fine, Ino, you go against Naruto. First, don't go all out. I just want you to spar, said Asuma, as he took his seat next to Shikamaru. They both did the seal of confrontation, then Ino took her stance across for Naruto. She was nervous beside Sasuke. There was no one better in her class in taijutsu than Naruto. Even Hinata admitted Naruto's better than her, and she kicks all the girls' butts. Naruto went first. He went for a simple right jab. Ino saw this and sidestepped it and went for her own punch with her right towards Naruto's left, but Naruto simply moved her fist out the way with his hand, which caused her to lean over slightly, which was enough for him to knee her in the stomach. Ino was surprised by the straightforwardness of his moves, since Naruto is way more dangerous whenever she sees him against Sasuke. Even Kiba, he tries harder than this, but she can't complain she wasn't the best in taijutsu. "You okay, Ino?" asked Naruto as he held his hand out for her. Ino took his hand, but she grabbed him towards her. As he was leaning over, she bent her knees so her feet were lined up with his torso and kicked him up slightly off the ground. And with a quick movement, she spun back into a dropkick position, preparing to slam him into the ground. "Don't you dare go easy on me, Naruto," yelled Ino. Naruto managed to roll out the way, scared at the aggressiveness of Ino as he and her regained their stances. On the side, Shikamaru is just shaking his head. "I forget how loud and angry Ino can be sometimes," said Shikamaru in disbelief that Ino got angry that Naruto was being nice. Meanwhile, Asuma is analyzing the fight. Ino was under-scouted on the report he believed. When it first started, it seemed accurate, but now, when she's riled up, she actually got stronger, faster, and way more precise in her moves. And with Naruto, it's hard to believe he was only second best in taijutsu. He looks so much in control that people would easily mistake him for a Chunin in taijutsu alone. But he does look awkward in some points, but Asuma summed that up to his reliance on ninjutsu so much when he fights, as he pauses to remember it's taijutsu only, but Naruto was too quick for Ino. You have to catch him off guard. Even still, he has exceptional reflexes, which is probably off the use of the flying Raijin. If you're wondering why Naruto is only the second best in taijutsu, don't said Shikamaru. Sasuke cheats. He uses his Sharingan almost every time he goes against Naruto, and the few times he didn't, he did lose. I see. Doesn't matter, the Sharingan is a powerful jutsu. So, if Naruto wants to beat him, he will have to learn to beat it, said Asuma. But Naruto doesn't care that he is considered second best, said Shikamaru. Ino hits the ground again, frustrated that she couldn't a good hit on Naruto since she got angry. Naruto puts two fingers out, signing the seal of reconciliation, which just makes Ino smile and form the seal. "You know, we're not in the academy anymore. We don't have to do the seal of confrontation and reconciliation anymore," said Ino as she accepts Naruto's hand to get off the ground. "I know, but it just reassures me that no hard feelings are being involved," said Naruto. "Good job. Next, Ino spar with Shikamaru. Naruto, take a seat." As Ino and Shikamaru spar, Naruto took a seat next to Asuma, watching the two spar. "Naruto, what's your goal?" asked Asuma. "What do you mean?" questioned Naruto. "Well, I didn't go over this the day you were assigned to me, since I feel like someone's dreams are their business. But Shikamaru said something that intrigued me," said Asuma. "He said you don't desire to be the best. What do you desire?" "Well, he probably misinterpreted that. It's not like I don't desire being better than Sasuke. You, the third Hokage, and even my dad," said Naruto, "but I don't want to be Hokage, at least not in title." Why not? You seemed groomed to be a good candidate once you're older, commented Asuma. I want to protect the village. And that means me being in the field, not in an office listening to an old lady complain about her cat, said Naruto. They both took a second to forget about that demon cat. I don't mind being a leader, but I don't want to be the leader. I don't have what it takes to make the tough calls, like sacrificing yourself by sealing a tailed beast into an orphan girl. I don't have the backbone for that, said Naruto. Besides, Amma wants to be Hokage, so I'll look after her. As he finished talking, Ino went for the finishing move, a leg sweep to knock Shikamaru off his feet, and she used her momentum to do a quick handstand to raise her leg high enough to slam Shikamaru to the ground. Damn Ino, said Naruto as he watched Ino beat Shikamaru, and Shikamaru just lay there. What? He had it coming, said Ino as she walked away from a still down Shikamaru. What'd Shika say? How he was upset about fighting a girl. For being so smart, he says some stupid things. You got that right, said Ino as she sat down next to Naruto. Well, seeing as how Shika is going to be out for a while, is there anything you both want to work on while we're still here? Said Asuma, who went to check on Shikamaru, but saw he was knocked out. I've been thinking of either of improving the mind disturbance jutsu. It will allow me to more openly participate in combat, as it doesn't leave me useless like with the mind transfer jutsu, said Ino. What does it do? Asked Naruto. It's kind of like a jinjutsu, but it uses my clan's mind technique. But this one, unlike me, gaining control of mind and body, this one is just body, which is why I won't be useless. I can almost control them like a puppet, explained Ino. Cool, but scary you can like turn teammates against each other, said Naruto. Yeah, but it doesn't last long, said Ino, although I wouldn't mind learning the transmission jutsu. You have very useful jutsu for teamwork and secrecy, also a fine choice, said Asuma. You can attempt the transmission jutsu with us and use the disturbance jutsu with your clan. It could be dangerous if that one gets out of hand. All right, said Ino, seeing Naruto's confusion. The mind transmission basically is telepathy with whoever I connect with, allowing to share thoughts with me as the medium. Cool, so like back in the academy, you could have helped me on one of those tests by thinking your answers to me, said Naruto, amazed by the skill. Yeah, but I wouldn't have helped you anyway. What? What? Because you don't do well on your tests, because you don't study, not because you're stupid. Well, I'm sorry, I'm focusing on actual techniques than on why the fire daimyo is so rich. Don't you want money? Yeah, but not to point where I'm stupidly rich and can rule a nation on money alone and have no other skills. All right, relax. Now, Naruto, what techniques do you want to work on? Asked Asuma. I've been working on different elements. I want to master the basics of them before I go on to anything complicated, said Naruto. What have you learned so far? Naruto proceeded to lay down, go through some hand signs, and slammed his hand onto the ground and watched the ground and rocks surround his hand up to the wrist. I think I'm good on the rock fist jutsu, but I want to learn the headhunter jutsu, said Naruto. Naruto also showed his right hand to show electricity sparkle in his hand briefly. He also spits a small water stream, but it wasn't affecting anything around it. My thunder palm needs work as I can't hold it long, and my water gun isn't powerful enough. And I cannot learn fire, it's really hard for me for some reason, said Naruto. Why are you working on all these jutsus, Naruto? Asked Ino. When I used to train with my parents and they used to show all these cool elemental jutsu, my dad had lightning and wind, and my mom had water, fire, and earth. And ever since then, I wanted to learn all their main techniques, which also why I know how to my dad's jutsu. And my mom's chains, there's some more I have to learn. I was told I would learn those later. So for now, I figure I would learn the elemental to help support me, said Naruto. But didn't you tell me you wanted to be different from your parents, said Shikamaru, now conscious. Yeah, but doesn't mean I can't continue their legacy. I just don't want to be just Yellow Flash 2.0 or known as the fourth Hokage's son. I want to have my own legend, my own story, said Naruto. I wear orange to symbolize both my mom and my dad, whose colors were red and yellow, but it's still a different color. Yeah, but that means you would have to create your own technique like those two, added Asuma. Yeah, I'm working on that. I didn't know it would be this hard, said Naruto. Well, I can work on your fire, and wind you're going to have to find other people to help you on those other elements, said Asuma. That's fine. If I can just make a small fire, I can be content. I'm not looking to master them like the third Hokage. I just want to cover all bases, said Naruto. Well, speaking of elements, do you two know your elements? Asked Asuma to Ino and Shikamaru. No, they both answered. Asuma pulled out 3 pieces of paper and gave 2 to the 2 genin. He kept 1 for themselves. These are chakra paper from a special tree. They once put chakra will tell you your affinity for which element, said Asuma as he demonstrated. Asuma's chakra split in 2 and one of the splits burned. My primary affinity is wind and secondary is fire. Naruto, I assume you know what yours are, said Asuma. Yeah, my primary is wind too, but my secondary is water, said Naruto as he watched his teammates' chakra papers. Ino's got damp. You have a primary affinity for water. Shikamaru's burned. And you have an affinity for fire. Now we will work on your two's elements later. I'm only helping Naruto. Since he already started, the elements are usually a Chunin level training method, said Asuma. Shikamaru practiced his shadow possession jutsu, as he needs to increase the effectiveness and range of it. He's practicing against one of Naruto's shadow clones, who in turn was practicing his evasiveness, agility, and reflexes. Ino was practicing her mind telepathy against Asuma, who is used to how it felt since he has gone on missions with her father in Noichi multiple times and was used to it. Naruto was simply doing the leaf exercise where he tries to make the leaf burn. Around an hour later, 4 figures came into Team 10's training ground. One was pushing their fingers together, one was putting his hands in their jacket pockets, another was holding the back of their head, and the one in front was walking with confidence. It was Team 7. Hey Kakashi, what are you doing? I thought you would be training your team before missions start coming up, said Asuma as he approached them. But it turns out Shino and Hinata don't stand much of a chance against Sasuke in sparring, and I don't want to spar with him as I don't think it would benefit him much. So he demanded he fight your student, said Kakashi as he pointed to the blonde-haired boy sitting down. Naruto? But he's training can't wait, said Asuma. Afraid not he won't train in anything else until he gets a good fight, said Kakashi. Let's see. Naruto, come here, yelled Asuma to his student. What's up, Asuma-sensei? Why is Team 7 here? Asked Naruto. Hey Hinata. Hey Shino. Hey Sasuke. Naruto. Hello. A challenger idiot, said Sasuke. Naruto could only raise an eyebrow in confusion as he turned to his sensei for confirmation, who could only nod his head in confirmation. "Can I, sensei?" "If only you want. It would be interesting to see you going all out against someone around the same level," said Asuma. "All right, you're on, Sasuke," said Naruto with some excitement in his voice. "All right, we can use taijutsu, ninjutsu, and weapons no jinjutsu first to surrender dash. Or until me or Asuma calls it added Kakashi. Or until they call the match over," said Sasuke. "Fine by me." Naruto and Sasuke faced each other in an empty part of the training ground. Their teammates were sitting on the side away from the fight, ready to watch. The two genin did the seal of confrontation to Naruto's request and proceeded. Naruto and Sasuke first charged each other. Sasuke went for a right punch, but Naruto did a high front flip to dodge. In midair, he took out some kunai and aimed them at Sasuke, who turned around and got his own kunai to block them, and used the one he used to block to aim at Naruto, who slightly twisted to kick the kunai away. As Naruto landed, Sasuke got in close for a roundhouse kick, but Naruto quickly bent backward to avoid it. He used his hands as support and proceeded to kick Sasuke up a little. Naruto followed up with him bending back and used his jutsu. "Blow away," yelled Naruto as he got his hand around Sasuke's torso and proceeded to use his wind style to blow him back. The wind was enough to slam Sasuke into a tree and create a small smoke screen. "Sasuke's about to get serious," commented Shino. "Maybe, but Naruto hasn't gone all out either," said Ino, defending her teammate. A fireball set out of the smoke towards Naruto, who was engulfed in the flames. Sasuke, not believing that Naruto went down that easy, charged in the direction in which he blew in. He scanned the area and found Naruto's location. He blew another fireball into the trees northeast of him, and again, no response. Sasuke was suddenly kicked from the back, but he predicted that and prepared for the counter. He grabbed the next fist that Naruto was about to land on his face. This revealed that Sasuke had activated his two-tomo Sharingan. Sasuke went for his own punch, but Naruto grabbed that similar to Sasuke. They were in a deadlock. Until Naruto lost his balance and started to fall back. But as Sasuke was leaning over, Naruto bent his knees so his feet were lined up with Sasuke's torso and kicked him up slightly off the ground. And with a quick movement, Naruto rolled back into a dropkick position, preparing to slam him into the ground. "That looks familiar," commented Ino as she squinted her eyes to see the movements clearer. "It should have the same move you used on him when you were sparring," said Shikamaru, analyzing the battle. "This might be my only real chance to examine Naruto's battle style, since after this will be missions." "Yeah, it's similar. It seems that move you did make a little impression on him," added Asuma. "It's similar, but he modified it to adjust for the situation. Naruto-kun is always viewing others people's moves and mimicking them," commented Hinata quietly, but Ino heard her. "What do you mean, Hinata?" asked Ino. That wind jutsu, he used to be inspired by my clan's jutsu, but my clan's jutsu does damage and is more condensed. He got the idea after seeing my cousin do it," said Hinata. Sasuke, however, reacted quickly and blocked the kick with both his hands. He then gripped the foot and used his strength to knock Naruto over. Sasuke took this opportunity to gain some distance to catch his breath, since that move Naruto did surprise him, almost lost his breath when he hit the ground. Naruto didn't let up this time. He went faster and went after Sasuke for another engagement in taijutsu. Naruto went for a clockwise kick, but Sasuke jumped up and proceeded to do 3 rapid step kick, but Naruto blocked them as Sasuke got to the other side. He went for his own kick, but was blocked by Naruto's forearm. He used the same forearm to push the leg back to cause Sasuke to turn a little, which allowed an opening to his back, which Naruto took as an opening. But Sasuke backflipped over the kick and did his own kick to launch Naruto back. Naruto took out 2 kunai in both hands and charged Sasuke again. Sasuke took his own kunai out to combat him. The kunai clashed against each other repeatedly, neither one was giving an inch. Sasuke did one swipe to hard and Naruto dodged it and replied with a punch to knock Sasuke a good distance away. Sasuke, not seeing an opening, decided to go back to ninjutsu. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, said Sasuke as multiple small fireballs in many angles headed towards Naruto. Earth style Rock Fist, said Naruto as he did the jutsu on both fists and started punching the incoming fire out of the air. Sasuke did another fireball, his biggest yet, and aimed it at Naruto. Naruto, not seeing a clear escape route, decided to jump over it. He barely made over it, but Sasuke, analyzing Naruto's body language, knew he was going to jump and met him midair and did a rotating spin kick to knock Naruto to the ground. Naruto tried blocking it with his arms, but it was too much force behind the kick. As Kakashi called the match, a figure appeared in front of Naruto. It was Asuma. "The match is over," said Asuma as he held a hand out for Naruto to help him up, which he accepted. "Good job." "Thanks, but I could have kept going. I had more moves," said Naruto. "I know, but it's important not to reveal all your moves, especially to your rival." It seems Kakashi was having a talk with Sasuke as well, and after that the two boys approached each other. They did the seal of reconciliation, and then took their own ways back to their teams. "Good job, Naruto," said Ino. "You looked alright," said Shikamaru. Thanks guys," said Naruto as he rubbed the back of his head. "It was a good match, but I think it's time to go over your battle style," said Asuma. "What do you mean?" "He looked awesome out there, sensei," said Ino. "Yeah, but he's having too many internal conflicts on which move to choose. It's not coming naturally to you," said Asuma. "Simply you're thinking too much." Naruto starting to get what he meant, but wanted to confirm how. "Well, based on what I counted, you already have 8 techniques, and working on at least 3 other ones," said the bearded Jonin, "and a lot of them serve the same purpose, attack. Now visualize going through that fight within that match with only your chains, your Wind Jutsu, and the 3 Academy Jutsu. How different could that fight have been," said Asuma. Naruto sees himself using more of the substitution jutsu for evasion and the clone jutsu for distraction, also seeing using his chains to aid in combat and his blow away to give him more time to get away and buy time. "I see I need to be more creative and not over complex things," said the blonde male. "Correct now, for now, on only use those 5 jutsu and save the other for later, and we'll work on your other jutsu to add to your arsenal. You don't have to be the 3rd and know nearly every jutsu. Just learn some that will aid your fighting style," said Asuma. "I agree. While watching your fight, you used offense as your defense too much. You need to learn how to defend better," added the Nara. "Look, it appears that your role on this team, too, is to be the point, and you can't handle yourself. You might as well die on the first mission." Ino punched Shikamaru in the arm for his harshness. "Don't say that." "But he's right, me and Shika are more suited to be in the back. So you will be the one doing the main fighting, And we need to be confident that you have our back, so we can have your said Ino as she pointed Naruto's chest to emphasize her point. And for us to be at ease, you need to be able to handle yourself. They're both right. I'm only going to fight if I have to, meaning you're doing most of the fighting. And if you can't fight with complete confidence, then you might as well quit, said the son of the third Hokage. Thanks, guys. I know what I have to do, said a serious Naruto. Good. Mission 1. Team 10 exit the Hokage Tower after receiving their first C-rank mission. They breezed through the 10 D ranks besides the Cat one. Yehei struggled just like the other teams. It didn't make them feel better that Team 7 had the fastest record. Team 10 had a small rivalry, mainly because of Naruto and Sasuke, but it extended to Shino and Shikamaru, who were both the intellectual type, and when they were forced to spar one day, it ended in a tie. Hinata and Ino were civil, but Ino doesn't like the fact that Hinata was better than her currently, so any news of Team 7 was heard by them. Team 10 first C rank was a simple one in terms of C rank. It was a capture mission. A bandit group had been causing mischief near Konoha and had to be taken care of. Remember, bandits can't use chakra since they are just civilians who went rogue. So no need to go overboard, said Asuma as he and his team arrived at the gate. Do we know how many bandits there are? The report gave no amount, asked Ino. No, we don't, but bandit group estimates to around 20 bandits, since they have to overpower through numbers, responded the smoking Jonin. So are we capturing all of them or just the leader? Asked Shikamaru. Depending on the size, if it's not a lot, then we can capture them all. But if there's probably only the leader and maybe a couple others that could be threats, said Asuma. Any more quick questions before we leave? Naruto. No, I'm good. I mean, what could go wrong? Said Naruto. The team departed. They took their time since the mission was still in the land of fire and wasn't that far from Konoha. They made light conversation, which died out quickly as they grew closer to the location. They made it to the location. It was a simple field in the middle of trees. The team was surprised by the number of bandits. I counted 66, said Asuma, as he was mildly surprised by the number. Yeah, but they have tents, meaning there could be more, added Naruto. What do we do, sensei? Asked Ino as she and the other two looked to the Jonin. Asterisk sigh, asterisk, well, go have fun. I don't sense any big chakra signatures, so they are all indeed bandits, so? Said Asuma as he took out his cigarette and lighter and began to light it. Go have fun. They all took that differently. Naruto smiled. Shikamaru grunted, and Ino couldn't believe what she heard. Have fun? There's over 60 people down there, and 3 of us. How are we supposed to have? Ino started thinking until she saw Naruto hop down from the branch they were all on and landed. Hey, bandits, yelled Naruto, which turned all their heads. You might as well tie yourself up now unless you want to get beat up. The bandits only responded by picking up their weapons and got ready to fight. Damn, Naruto, we could have played this out a lot better, thought Shikamaru as he and Ino went to join their teammate. Naruto went forward first and was easily defeating the bandits. Ino went to back him up as she saw no need to use her mind jutsus, while Shikamaru just got the leftovers. Asuma was gazing from above, proud to see that even with his boasting, Naruto was being very efficient and not getting unfocused, and to see that Ino and Shikamaru's taijutsu was enough to defeat bandits. As he was watching, he heard something from behind coming towards him. He dodged it, but he felt his body become numb. Sound? thought Asuma as he fell out of the tree and roughly hit the ground. The team sees this and went to check on Asuma as they almost finished off the bandits. They examine Asuma and see that he was paralyzed somehow. It was sound. Something came from this weapon, and it made my body go numb. Struggled Asuma to speak. Look out. The three genin scattered as they took the advice from their sensei. They look in the direction it came from, saw a man standing across the field with the bandits behind them. "Who are you?" asked Shikamaru. "I'm just a rogue ninja from the Kyumo and decided to join this bandit group to make a living," said the missing nin. They all saw that he had headband on, but it had a sound note on it. "What's with the headband? That's some kind of village?" asked Naruto as he glanced at Shikamaru and Ino. "Oh yes, I joined this new village, but I'm free to do my own bidding, so I decided to mess with travelers, and these lovely gentlemen allowed me to join in," said the man who overheard Naruto. Ino glanced at the weapon the man was holding and saw that it was a strange-looking boomerang. "What's with the boomerang?" asked Ino. "Oh, this is one of the weapons I got from the village I'm a part of. It's very useful," the man said. "It must emit a sound wave of some sort when thrown, which explains why I was still affected," thought Asuma, as he could no longer speak loudly. "Let me show you how useful it is," said the man as he threw the boomerang towards Ino. Seeing the attack coming, she jumped a great distance away from the boomerang, but it began to come around, and it whipped towards Shikamaru, who wasn't ready for it, but still managed to dodge it, but was affected by it as he kneeled over. "Damn, I lost feeling in my whole left side," thought Shikamaru. The man caught his boomerang and laughed at the genin's reaction to seeing Shikamaru kneel over. "Shikamaru jumped a greater distance than I did, but was still affected, meaning you would have to dodge a greater distance than him like Ino did," thought Asuma. Meanwhile, Naruto thought the same thing and went into his pouch and got earplugs and put them in. A man who knew all the time I ignored Kiba in class with these things, that they would come in handy, thought Naruto. "Unfortunately, I don't have more, so I'm going to have to coordinate with the others, but how am I going to hear them without hearing them?" Naruto took in his surroundings and saw that even the bandits could take out Asuma and Shika in their states. So priority was to get rid of the bandits. He made a look towards Shikamaru and pointed to his ear and took off towards the missing nin and the bandits. "Ino, link us up," said Shikamaru to Ino. "But I haven't practiced that with you all yet," responded the Yamanaka. "Well, unless you can find another way to communicate with Naruto, then you have no choice." Ino saw that Naruto could indeed not hear them, started doing the hand signs slowly, trying not to mess up, as this was a serious situation. Naruto charged the missing nin. The missing nin only scoffed and took his boomerang and extended the hidden blade from the boomerang and prepared to swipe at the blonde genin. But Naruto, never intending to attack, dodged the swipe and twisted to the man's side. "Wind style, blow away," said an unbalanced Naruto as he used his jutsu to blow the rogue away, which is exactly what happened. Naruto made a look towards Ino, which meant it was now or never. Mind transmission jutsu. Ino executed. She wouldn't know when it would work until her teammates thought something. "This feels weird," thought Naruto. "It worked," thought Ino as she was visibly excited. "Yeah, it worked now. Don't yell in my head now," too, thought Shikamaru. "Good job, Ino. I knew you could do it," thought Asuma as he was still down. "Asuma-sensei, what do we do?" asked Ino. I'm starting to get feeling back in my toes, so the jutsu is starting to wear off, meaning Shikamaru will be up before I am. So priority is to buy time until I'm back up thought Asuma to the 3 genin. Right. I can't tell you all how to fight, so I'm going to focus on trying to get my body back to normal while you 3 improvise. All right, I'll coordinate then. Use your disturbance jutsu to get the bandits to fight each other, thought Shikamaru. All right, thought as she made a rectangle with her hands and focused on the bandits. Mind disturbance jutsu. The bandits grew confused as they lost control of their bodies, which later grew to fear as they started to beat each other up. The missing Nin emerged from the trees, which he was blown into only to see the bandits hit each other. Incompetent fools. Just because you can't do anything doesn't mean you hurt yourselves, thought the man. Nice technique, boy. You deserve to know my name. It's EUI, said the man now known as EUI. EU, responded Naruto as he tried to read EUI's lips. EUI, thought the team to correct Naruto. You have a lot of nerve mispronouncing my name. Guess I'm going to have to kill you, said EUI. EUI put away his boomerang and went through hand signs fire style. Fireball jutsu. A huge fireball came towards Naruto, and he was struggling to find a way out of this, as this was way bigger than any of Sasuke's. Naruto, it's time to forget about that limit I gave you. Use any means necessary, thought Asuma to Naruto. Naruto nodded and used his flying Raijin jutsu to teleport next to Shikamaru, but he cut it close since his jacket and pants were slightly burned. When the hell did you mark me? Thought Shikamaru as he tried to recall when Naruto marked him. I marked our friends years ago. Since the seal never goes away, I thought Naruto figure would be helpful later on. Looked at Naruto and saw he had markings around his wrist since his jacket was slightly burned and able to see more skin of her teammate. What are those markings, Naruto? Thought Ino. Seals. Naruto, don't tell me you're wearing gravity seals, thought Asuma. Gravity seals? Thought Ino. Gravity seals make your body heavier wherever they are placed, thought Asuma. They're a training method, not for missions. Sorry, I figured this would be a light mission, thought Naruto in his defense. No excuse. What level are they at? Asked Asuma. Level 7. Damn, with it you could almost outrun everyone in Konoha, including me, thought Asuma. Really, these seals can do that, thought Shikamaru. Yes, but they take forever for me to raise the level. I started this training when I was 5. It takes about a year to level up. Naruto, it's time to release them. But I haven't had time to get used to it. No time, we need to at least distract him. So use your speed to distract him. Gravity seal. Release, said Naruto as the marking glowed yellow, indicating he was interacting with the seals, then dimmed back down, showing he was done. EUI now found Naruto, since he initially thought he was burned by the fire, only to turn around and see him by his teammates. Found you. Now it's time to cut you down to size, said EUI as he took the sword from his back and got into his stance. And in a blink of an eye, Naruto was in front of EUI, past his sword with his palms out. Fast mother dash, thought EUI as he was shocked by electricity. Lightning style. Thunder palm, said Naruto as he coated his hands in electricity and touched EUI, sending electricity through his system. The lightning died down and EUI was just standing there until he quickly kicked Naruto far back. Nice try, but I'm from Kumo, the lightning village. I'm used to being shocked, said EUI as he charged Naruto with his sword. The sword was very fast, but Naruto's reflexes were very high, but it was still too much of a disadvantage for Naruto alone. Guys, I don't think I can dodge all day. I don't have enough speed to surprise him again, thought Naruto to his team as he tried body flickering to EUI's left, but just received a quick elbow to his face with a non-sword arm, nor enough power to actually make enough of an impact. I'm almost free from the numbness, so when I'm ready, the three of us can buy even more time for a Suma, thought Shikomo. All right, I'll make my move. Ino, cover me, thought Naruto as he took a mild leap back. Naruto activated his chains as they extended from both his hands. He started using them to create some distance and using them for combat. He flung his left chain towards EUI's sword. EUI let him grab it since he started to get a cocky thinking a kid can't outmuscle him. Naruto then did the same thing with his other chain this time, wrapped EUI's arm. EUI, noticing the situation, started muscling back, trying to get loose. Seems like I can't break these chains, commented the rogue Nin. Now Ino, thought Naruto. Right, said Ino as she flung two kunai at EUI right above Naruto's head into the man's chest. He laughed since he didn't flinch at the kunai piercing his skin. You think kunai could do serious damage to me? Try something else. Asterisk boom asterisk. The handle of the kunai was discreetly wrapped with explosive tags, disguising them as unique handle wraps. Naruto let go of EUI to have the explosion take full effect. I'm good, thought Shikamaru as he got up on both feet. Great, thought Naruto as he took a leap back to regroup with his time. Now, I don't have an attack that will really affect him enough, nor was I able to tag him since I wasted my best opportunity. So we're going to have to keep trying to trap him with your techniques until Asuma Sensei is back up, thought Naruto, mad at himself to not have any effect on this guy. It's okay, Naruto. That's why you have teammates, thought Ino. But it's my job to attack, and I can't do that. So what am I going to do? You have the will of fire, Naruto. Use it, thought Asuma. The will of fire? Questioned Shikamaru. Naruto knows what I mean. Look, I know you went into thinking you were strong, but you're not just strong, you're a shinobi, and shinobi use more than just power. I know, but he's literally toying with us. And we'll use that to our advantage. All right, I have a plan, but Shika, it's up to you to time it, right? We're going to use an improvised version of what we did to Sensei in our test. So Ino, back me up, thought Naruto, as took his chains back out. Naruto charged after EUI, who had just emerged from the smoke, and with a spinning kick, he went for the head, but EUI blocked at the flat end of his sword. Ino came in with sweep kick, but didn't affect EUI at all. Oh, it felt like metal, Ino said out loud as she gave her space from EUI. Metal. He might be wearing some armor. Ino see where there are openings as Naruto distracts him, thought Shikamaru, as he was analyzing EUI to find openings himself. Got it. Naruto, meanwhile, was trying to disarm EUI before he uses his boomerang again. So he was keeping him busy so he couldn't get his boomerang back out. Naruto went for a punch, but EUI simply grabbed it and threw him on the ground. He held him down with his foot as he got his sword ready for the finishing blow. But Ino threw another explosive tag. To separate them, EUI jumped back to avoid the explosion while Naruto discreetly teleported back to Ino to avoid full impact, but his clothes were even more damaged. Thanks, Ino, thought Naruto. No problem. As the two genin got ready, a boomerang headed their way. Naruto, thinking fast, took his own earplugs and put them in Ino's ear as he grabbed the boomerang, getting the full sound wave. He used the last amount of energy he had as he threw the boomerang back at Iui, who was caught by surprise and avoided the boomerang, but still got some of the sound in his ears, forcing him to kneel over. Shikamaru. Ino now, thought Naruto. Shikamaru used his shadow possession jutsu to restrict Iui's movement and force his numb body to stand up to give Ino a good shot. I have to release the telepathy to do this, thought Ino to her team, who all understood. As she used the mind transfer jutsu to render her own body useless as it laid next to Naruto, but gained control of Iui's body. She quickly disarmed Iui of all his weapons, including his sword, boomerang, and weapon pouch, by throwing them towards Shikamaru and Asuma. Shikamaru released his jutsu once Ino gained control and used his ninja wire to tie Iui body to the nearest tree and gag him for good measure. Once Shikamaru gave the okay, Ino released her jutsu and returned back to her body. As she got up, Ino took out the earplugs and went to check on Naruto. "You idiot," said Ino. "I didn't need you to protect me. But I wanted to. Besides, you were key to taking down that guy," said Naruto as he laid there unable to move. "But you don't sacrifice yourself for me," said Ino, borderline crying in frustration. "I got your back, and you got mine. I don't see the big deal we won," said Naruto as he was confused by Ino's reaction. "But what if we didn't? You would be unable to fight, and we would all die. You're too reckless," exclaimed Ino. "You have to keep yourself in mind as well." "Maybe, but you're all safe, which is priority for me, and once Asuma-sensei full gets up, we can finish the mission and relax," said Naruto nonchalant. "You're too calm about risking your life like that," said Ino. "If you think I got a death wish, then you're wrong. I have no plans at dying young," responded the male blonde. Asuma finally managed to get up and move his body. "Good work, team," he said as started to pick up Iui's equipment and seal it in a scroll he had. He later signaled for a bird, which revealed itself to be Konoha's messenger bird, and put a note inside the container. "I already sent a message to the village for the bandits here, but we're taking in the rogue, meaning ourselves," said Asuma as he slumped the numb body of Iui over his shoulder. Shikamaru and Ino helped carry Naruto back to the village. The walk back to village was calm, but there was tension. Asuma kept checking to see when Iui will be mobile, while Ino was still mad at Naruto. But Naruto and Shikamaru were quiet, but lightly talking to themselves. They arrived to the Hokage Tower, where the guards took Iui to the intelligence division for Ibiki. By that time, Naruto regained feeling in his legs, but not his total upper body, but he still walked up the stairs to help give the mission report. Hokage's office. Team 10, what happened to you?" said the third Hokage, seeing 3 beat-up genin and a dirty Asuma from the dirt he was lying in. "Oh, well, you see," said Asuma as scratched the back of his head, embarrassed. After Asuma, with assistance from the genin, gave the mission report, Asuma approached with a different manner. "The ninja the genin fought had this weapon on him, which rendered me, Shikamaru and Naruto, helpless for a significant amount of time," said Asuma as he presented the boomerang. "It presents a sound wave invisible to the eyes, but it renders the body numb the more, depending on how close you are to it, as I and Naruto were numb all over, but Shikamaru was numb on only his left side, and Ino managed to dodge, meaning it had a limited range. Hmm. It seems that this is a troublesome weapon. I'll have Shizun and others analyze it, said Hiruzen as he handed it to one of his hidden Umbu bodyguards who took it and left the room, presumably towards Shizun. All right, anything else you wish to share? Asked the third Hokage. We have a rogue sword and something of interest to you. The second Hokage's weapon, the Sword of the Thunder God, said Asuma as he activated the sword with a lightning sword coming out the hilt. He didn't use it in the fight, so he either didn't know how to use it or forgot about it. Well, Tobarama never used much himself, so maybe you or one of you genin would like it. If not, I'll keep it in storage. Well, do any of you like it? Asked the bearded jonin. Ino should get it. I'm not really sword person, said Naruto. Doesn't fit me either, added Shikamaru. Odd if you boys insist, said Ino as she accepted the sword. All right, you have 2 weeks off since this C rank that should have been a B rank because of the missing Nin, said Hiruzen. Naruto, Shikamaru, and Ino, you are free to go. I'm going to talk to your sensei for a bit. Yes, sir, said the genin as they left the room. Outside the tower. Wanting to take a nap after that, so I'm going home, said Shikamaru. As he headed home, I got things to work on. See you, Shika, said Naruto. Well, now that we're back, I need to train. I'll catch you later, Ino. Mind if I join? No. You're tired. You seem to be on your last legs. You should go home. Besides, I'm only training at home. Nothing serious. I just need to make sure my body's all right after that boomerang, said Naruto, as his body flickered away. Damn it. Ino Yamanaka, daughter of Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the intelligence division. Ino is strong for her age, but still falls under average genin because of experience. Ino excels in ninjutsu with above average taijutsu and average genjutsu. Ino's a girly girl, but is slowly outgrowing it. She feels that kunoichi are underappreciated in the shinobi world and strives to be on equal playing field as her male peers. Ino's closest friends are Shikamaru, Choji, Sakura, and Naruto. She likes to relax and boss people around, but based on how her teammates are, she's only partially successful. Ino is a support shinobi and described by her sensei Ino is the ultimate cheerleader as she loves to build people up. Asuma. Ino is a pretty young girl. She values her teammates deeper than even she knows. Her goal to be strong and support her teammates is a pro, while her emotions can hinder them as well. Needs to refine her taijutsu more, as well as have someone teach her some genjutsu. Potential. High Chunin. Shikamaru. Ino is loud and bossy. Not really much else say. She is good support for her friends, so there is that. We've known each other since birth, since we're only a day apart, troublesome enough. So I personally know too much about her to even describe anymore. But she will be a great shinobi. Potential. Chunin, since I know she has no desire to be a Jonin or Hokage. Naruto. Ino is cool. She's really nice and really strong. I remember when she used to always lead our group of friends on these adventures, so I know she's a natural leader. Ino cares too much, though, as she is always concerned about others more than herself at times. I also think she has an inferior complex, as she doesn't like being treated below her. But she's like a sister, and I'll always treasure that. Potential. Joan and I know she can do it. Elsewhere. Ino was talking to her own dad, who was really surprised that this was the same girl who was more concerned about her hair at one point. I can teach you, but only the basics, as I'm no master in it as well, but it will more than be good enough for that weapon you have there. But beware of wind users. Why wind? Asked Ino. I'll tell you another time, said Anoichi, as he did not wish to be teaching her a lot. Elsewhere, Naruto was talking to his godfather Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, as this was his teacher slash guardian up until Asuma, who as his sensei, is partly responsible for his genin. I don't mind teaching it to you, but you won't know it before your next mission, said Jiraiya. Yeah, well, I'm not going on another serious mission for a while after that last one, so I have time to learn one more technique, said Naruto. Even so, it took your father a long time to create it, and it even took me a long time to learn it from him, so I don't think it will be of any use to you yet. Let's make a bet. If I don't learn this by the end of these 2 weeks, then I will convince Aunt Tsunade to go on a date with you, said Naruto. Yes. Naruto has Tsunade wrapped around his finger. This is definitely possible. Okay, and if you do somehow learn it, said Jiraiya. You'll help me with my other techniques, said Naruto as he handed Jiraiya a scroll. As Jiraiya opened the scroll, he was surprised that Naruto was working on these kind of jutsus and techniques, and he can see them working together. I'll see what I can do with these. If you learn it, said Jiraiya, taking his own scroll and copying Naruto's onto it through a seal copying technique. Deal. Deal. Ino and Shikamaru stayed at their clan's households while Naruto took to wandering the village with a water balloon in his hand, thinking back to what had happened earlier when he was telling Jiraiya about his mission. Flashback. I really think you underestimate how much of shinobi fighting is a mainly taijutsu and kenjutsu, said Jiraiya. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. Well, you definitely been listening to your mom and dad's stories too much. They don't tell you the ones when they were genin and using just their intelligence. And when they finally learned ninjutsu, they used it to tip the battle to their advantage, said Jiraiya. Not everyone has as much chakra as you do at this age, so they couldn't throw all these jutsus you've learned so freely. I mean, I know that, but because I have a lot of chakra, means I should use it to my advantage, said Naruto. Wrong. Overusing ninjutsu is just covering up your taijutsu. Now, until you can use them equally without one outdoing the other, then you can use ninjutsu to your advantage, said Jiraiya. Besides, you save a lot of energy beating someone with only taijutsu. I see what you mean, said Naruto, as he was thinking everything through his head. Besides, you shouldn't get too mad at the mission. The guy had armor on. Trust me, not many shinobi wear armor, so this was just unfortunate, added Jiraiya. Yep, I guess, said Naruto, not totally convinced. You know, your dad had way too much fun on missions, always smiling, laughing, toying with people, said Jiraiya. Part of it was because he was a little goofy. Naruto and Jiraiya shared a laugh, then it got somber really quick. Look, just because you're a shinobi now doesn't mean you can't have fun, but remember this is a serious job, okay, said Jiraiya. Okay, said Naruto. Flashback end. Naruto already did the water balloon part of it since he knew about the spinning in multiple directions part of it beforehand. So he now is on the rubber balloon part, which he was having trouble with as it requires dense chakra, so he's thinking of a way to make his chakra denser. Man, I think I should take a break from this, said Naruto, putting the ball away and going to training ground. He made his way to a training ground and saw Team 7 arguing amongst each other, while more of Shino and Sasuke arguing and Hinata trying to mediate. "Hey guys, what are you guys arguing about?" asked Naruto. "Shino seems to think he doesn't need to participate in our taijutsu sparring since he doesn't need to because of his insects," said Sasuke. "This is true, but Sasuke won't let me use my insects in our spar." "Why?" "Because he knows I will win," said Shino. "They have been like this for the past hour," said Hinata, "and we have a mission soon later today." "Oh, what kind?" asked Naruto to Hinata, as he was genuinely curious in all missions. "Our first C-rank Kakashi-sensei hasn't told us what it would be yet," said Hinata. "Be careful. My team's first C-rank had a bad turn," said Naruto. "Yeah, we heard, sorry to hear, but hey, it was a cool B rank, right?" said Sasuke. "Maybe looking back on it, but in the moment, it was terrifying since Asuma-sensei was down," said Naruto. "Yeah, I can see that," admitted Sasuke. "And to let you both know you're both right," said the blonde ninja, addressing both Shino and Sasuke. "Ow," asked Shino. "Shino is right that if he uses his insects, it will be extremely easier than without," said Naruto. "But Sasuke is also right in training in your pure taijutsu will only improve you overall." "How I'm not a close fighter?" "Why?" "Because my parasitic insects can fight from afar," said the goggle-wearing genin. "What happens if you fight someone that can defeat your bugs like a dangerous fire user that likes to get up close?" said Naruto. "I see what you're saying, Naruto. Taijutsu is not only for offense." "Why?" "Because it can be used for defense, such as protecting myself," admitted Shino, as he wouldn't want his bugs to get burned and him left defenseless. "Yeah, if you have a strong defense, you can have a good offense," said Naruto, which Shino nodded in agreement. "All right, Sasuke, let's spar, but no Sharingan, as I'm not that proficient in taijutsu as you and Hinata are," said Shino, as he took his hands out his pockets and pushed up his sunglasses. "Fine by me, but remember to keep it light. We have a mission today," agreed Sasuke. As Sasuke and Shino sparred, Hinata and Naruto sat down, making light conversation. "Oh, so I know how much you listen in on the rest of the world. Anything new out there?" said Hinata, as she knew Naruto was always curious about the other villages. "Oh yeah, Kirigakure finally picked their new Mizukage, and it's a young woman named Mei. She's letting all the bloodlines back in since their civil war is over," said Naruto, as he handed Hinata the news scroll he got the info from. "That's great, the first female Kage and Kiri finally ended the civil war," said Hinata, reading the scroll. Naruto felt a ting in his mind similar to his last mission, which was letting him know Ino is trying to use her telepathy, but is probably too far away to make good contact. "Look, I gotta go keep the scroll. I'll get it back from you later. See ya, Hinata." "See you guys," said Naruto, as he made his way towards the flower shop. "Bye, Naruto-kun," said Hinata, as she waved him off and continued to read the scroll. "I wonder how many people will come back to Kiri." Flower shop. Ino was outside the shop with Shikamaru already there, meaning he was last, as he knew Asuma was probably not coming. "Hey guys, what's up?" asked Naruto. "Me and Ino have been working on ways to strengthen our offensive side, to take the load off of you," said Shikamaru. "Wait, what?" asked Naruto, curious on what brought this out. "Look, we put too much pressure on you, and we're going to take some off you, okay," said Ino. "Is this because of the last mission? Then you really shouldn't worry. It was a simple mismatch. I mean, I'm better now than I was before, said Naruto. Not just that, but we felt really useless as you were fighting EUI, and we want to make a bigger difference, said Ino. Look, you guys are the ones who managed to capture him. I don't see how you felt useless. Shikamaru, you were basically paralyzed most of the fight. And Ino, you were trying to use telepathy on the four of us the whole time, while fighting that's difficult in concept alone, said Naruto. But you had to do everything from protecting us to fighting EUI, who had an advantage on you. I should have come with a strategy to better protect you and give us an advantage, said Shikamaru. Shika, it was your first real mission. You probably had nerves the situation didn't help at all, and Ino, same with you. But the fact that we made it through it means we can only go up from here. Besides, I know what I have to do from now on to get better. What's that? Asked Shikamaru. Being more confident, Asuma said as he appeared in front of them out of nowhere. He also felt the transmission in his mind, but decided to come last to observe his team first. What do you mean Naruto is the one of the most confident people I know, said Ino. Maybe, but he lost some during that fight with the rogue ninja, said Asuma. Is it true? Asked the Nara as he came to realization that Asuma was right. You were sloppy in a few places, such as when you kept using your wind jutsu without marking him with your teleportation jutsu. Yeah, it's true, I got a bit stiff, if that's a good way to put it, said Naruto as he was scratching the side of his head, trying to think of a better word. Yeah, you had too much going on to keep you focused from me, being unavailable to Ino's telepathy with all of us in your mind for the first time. Plus, you had to sacrifice your sense of hearing in the fight, just limited your senses, plus seeing your techniques fail or have little effect against the enemy lowers anyone's confidence, and Naruto is no different, said Asuma. Ino and Shikamaru both came to realize that it wasn't the pressure that was getting to Naruto, it was simply the situation. I mean, if I was playing shogi against dad and all my moves were failing, plus I have people yelling in my ear, plus I have to keep in mind that I'm not allowed to use certain pieces on the board. It is an unfavorable situation, more like a no-win situation, thought the Nara. An unfavorable situation. It was basically unbeatable until Shikamaru was able to use his jutsu, which only gave us the element of surprise, which we were able to capitalize on. Naruto was in a spot where no one wants to be in, especially for a first mission, a major blow to his ego, thought Ino. Look, I'm sorry, Naruto, for making it seem like you were incapable. We thought we pressured too much on you, when in fact, it was the mission itself. Besides, if it was me or Ino out there with you paralyzed, we all would have been dead for sure, said Shikamaru. It's cool, and don't sell yourself short. You're much smarter than me, and you would have found a way, said Naruto. I'm sorry too. I thought you viewed me as someone who needs protecting and not seeing things from your point of view, since you're right. Since without Asuma Sensei, me, and Shikamaru abilities, you were the best shot we had, said Ino. It's all right. Besides, of course, you two are worth protecting. We're friends, right? Said Naruto, a matter of fact. Right, said Ino. Troublesome, I guess we are, said Shikamaru. Good. Now, Naruto, are you okay? Asked Asuma, speaking of the confidence viewpoint. I'm fine, I worked it out, but I think it was needed. It was kind of a wake-up call to show that I'm nowhere near as strong as where I want to be, and that my fundamentals are key, said Naruto. I didn't see anything wrong with your fundamentals, commented Ino. Maybe, but I've been focusing so much improving my ninjutsu arsenal that I didn't work much on being stealthy and tricky. I honestly haven't worked on my taijutsu that much either, since I've been relying on my speed so much, said Naruto. Good to hear that you all have a goal to improve on since the Chunin exams are a month from now, and I would like to enter you all, said Asuma. Chunin exams? Question the only female around. It's a test to see whether we are ready to be promoted to Chunin. It's the only way to be promoted, answered the blonde male. Correct, and in addition to that, it's a showcase to other villages that the next generation is just as good, if not better than the previous, said Asuma. Wait, so other villages take the same exam as us? Asked Ino. Yes, as of right now, the exam will be here in Konoha. It changes location every 6 months, and villages may send as many Genin teams as they wish to participate, said Asuma. So basically, it's their way of saying that they are better than us, said Shikamaru. In a way, you can view it that way if you want, but it's more of a peace agreement showing good blood between villages, said the Jonin. It's also a scouting tool, said Naruto. Scouting? Questioned Ino. There's usually a good chance we will see the participants in the exam later in life, as they would be around our age rather than Asuma Sensei's, so it ruins the element of surprise when they already know your techniques. It also gives villages a heads up of who to look out for in the future, said Naruto. Heads up? Asked Ino. Like if I use the flying thunder god for people to see, they will know that I can use it. So now, they know to beware of getting marked or anything already marked, said Naruto. It might help ninja, like Shikamaru, who like to know the enemy's abilities beforehand to plan better. But for shinobi like me, who like to keep people on their toes to make the battle in my favor, puts me at a disadvantage. Naruto does like being in control of a battle, Ino quickly thought. I see you don't like the idea of the exams, said Asuma, amused by Naruto's dislike of the exams. Being around my parents, my godfather, my aunt, and the third Hokage, a lot gave me insight of how messed up things are, said Naruto. I love peace, but the exams are almost built for disaster. Naruto, the son of the late Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto is a prodigy, but not by blood, but by the people around him. He strives to be a great shinobi. Naruto's upbringing made him dislike the politics that involve the shinobi world, but overall is a positive guy. He excels in ninjutsu and taijutsu, possess average genjutsu skill. Naruto inherited his father's speed and skill, his mother's chakra, and carrying a fun-loving personality. Naruto's closest friends are Hinata, Sasuke, Ino, and Shikamaru, as they see how complicated Naruto can really be and accept that about him. Naruto loves to have fun, but knows when to be serious. He's cocky, but is able to deflate his ego. He's a natural leader who doesn't like to lead, but doesn't know when he's already leading. Asuma, Naruto's a great kid. I see a little of myself in him. I would like to pass down some techniques to him one day. His skill set is deadly, but also is weak. If opponent has a counter, we'll need to put him in more fights to develop him more. Potential skill level. Jonin/Kage. Ino, Naruto's awesome. His positive response to things are reassuring. It puts me at ease. Having him as a teammate is great since we get along well. I might act like a big sister at times, but I only care for him. He's really strong. To know someone my age is that strong, is inspiring. I want to be able to assist him however I can. His confidence is needed around someone like me, since I need to know that I'm not being delusional at times. I value his friendship a lot, especially of all the hardships he had faced. Potential skill level, Jonin easily. Shikamaru, Naruto is a strange puzzle that I haven't solved yet. I sometimes see a mature shinobi ready to go to the battlefield any minute he is called upon, and other times I see a 12-year-old kid who's having too much fun and doesn't take things seriously. He's smart, but not the smartest. He's strong, but not the strongest, but I can't help but get behind this guy whenever, whatever. Troublesome. A good friend, he values stargazing like how I like cloud watching, so I can respect him for that. Potential skill level. Tokubetsu Jonin, I don't know if he would even want to be a full Jonin bar. Asuma, Kurinai, and a few other Jonin were enjoying themselves at the bar. Your kitty guy did what? Asked a laughing Genma. He tried asking Shizen out, and Tsunade was nearby, and punch him out the hospital, said Kurinai. Why did she do that? Asked Asuma as he was sipping a drink. Probably because Shizen might say yes to it. She's been really looking for a boyfriend lately, said Kurinai. Well, because she's looking for somebody to settle down with, and no one I know is thinking about settling down yet, said Aoba. Yeah, and not many other shinobi are looking to slow down yet, added Asuma. Oh, really? Asked Kurinai with intrigue directed at only Asuma. Well, guys, said Asuma, asking for help only to see them escaping to the bar. No worry, Asuma. I'm only messing with you, said Kurinai, resting her head on his shoulder. You put me in some situations, though, said Asuma as he wrapped his arm around her. What do we have here? Kurinai and Asuma quickly separated and followed with a blush of embarrassment. What do you want, Kakashi? Asked Kurinai. We need to talk, the three of us, said Kakashi seriously. Right, they both said as they followed him outside. Kakashi gave him a book. A bingo book? Is there a new enemy to look out for? Asked Asuma, starting to flip through the book. Check out the potential threats section, said Kakashi. Asuma flipped through it, with Kurinai hovering over him to also look, and they both widened their eyes to what they saw. It was the 9 genin that they were teaching, all listed under the potential threat section, meaning they have the potential to be an AS rank threat. Why are they in here? Asked Kurinai. I don't know about your teams, but my team had an encounter with Zabuza of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen. In the process, we saved the land of waves and had Zabuza and his apprentice sent back to Kiri, said Kakashi. Zabuza or someone else must have told someone about how my genin performed. I see well my genin and me stopped a corrupt leadership in Yugikure as it was run by this rogue Chunin who was using his power to be a dictator, and my genin were the ones who exposed him. We didn't capture him, so he probably fled to his home village and told about us, said Kurinai. We already know what my team did, so I guess that UI told someone back in Kumo what they did after we sent him back there, said Asuma. Kurinai looked in the book again and saw a title over each of the genin's head. Why does it say Konoha's soaring leaves? Asked Kurinai. They decided that since these were all recorded around the same time, and that the genin looked around the same age, they should group them together, said Kakashi. Like how they named the 7 ninja swordsmen in Kiri and the Kinkaku force in Kyomo, said Asuma. And the puppet brigade in Suna and explosion corps in IWA, added Kurinai. Yeah, I just felt I should bring this up to you before we go confront the Hokage with this news, said Kakashi as he put the bingo book back in his pouch. Appreciate it, said Asuma as he and the other 2 made their way to Hokage Tower. Training Ground 8, next morning. Sakura was currently in her team's training ground practicing her tree walking. I wasn't much help on the last mission. I got to be able to keep up with the guy, Sakura was thinking as she was hanging upside down from a branch. Hey, Sakura, yelled a voice. Sakura lost her concentration and proceeded to fall. Just as she was about to hit the ground, she was caught. Sakura, you okay? Asked the same voice. Yeah, I'm fine, Naruto. Please don't surprise me like that, said Sakura as she got back on her own feet. What were you doing? Asked Naruto. I was practicing my tree walking, said Sakura. Literally, just standing there is like the worst training you can do, though, pointed out Naruto. What do you mean? Asked Sakura. Tree walking should be unconscious to you as you master it. So doing other things like walking or sparring while tree walking is a better training route, suggested Naruto. Did you do this? Asked Sakura. Yami and Sasuke used to always spar while doing this, said Naruto. All right, let's do it, said Sakura. What? Asked a confused Naruto. Come on, let's spar, said Sakura. You don't seem ready yet, said Naruto. Don't underestimate me, said an angry Sakura. Why do people think I'm always underestimating them? Thought Naruto fine, but I warned you. Naruto leaped onto the tree higher up, casually sticking to the tree, and got in his stance. He watched as Sakura slowly walked up the tree, getting more comfortable into her stance. Ladies first, Naruto taunted, knowing she was having a hard time. Sakura grimaced, but started putting some more speed in her movements. She started with a punch, which was blocked, and she followed with another punch, which this time was grabbed. Damn, I'm going to have to use my feet to fight correctly. How do I balance on one foot and still fight? Thought Sakura as she furrowed her brow. You're thinking too much, Sakura. I can see it on your face, said Naruto. Fighting is more natural process. You only think when you're reading movements, and even then it's something that happens naturally. Just fight me. Phoenix. Sakura started to attack Naruto seriously, as she was also keeping her balance on the tree trunk. Naruto didn't go all out, as he was mostly dodging and blocking in order to let Sakura keep her balance and control. If you don't throw a punch, I'm going to get really mad, said Sakura as her speed increased. She got faster since the academy, thought Naruto with surprise as he increased his pace to match hers. Sakura threw a punch that would have landed in the punch, but Naruto's body flickered back a few steps. The punch hit the trunk hard that it chipped some of the wood of the area off. She's using chakra in her fist to increase her damage, similar to Aunt Tsunade, thought Naruto. Okay, fine, you're getting used to it. So we'll just go through some katas, said Naruto as he went through the motions with Sakura. Katas are a training exercise that shinobi use regularly. It's a practice of the skill of the taijutsu, as they never go full speed or full strength. It was just a practice of technique, and if you do it with a partner, then you're practicing your defense and reflexes as well. As Naruto and Sakura were practicing, Kiba and Choji arrived to see the two sparring. Hey Sakura, what is Naruto doing here? Asked Kiba, interrupting the two. Oh my bad, I was just walking and I saw Sakura training and just joined in, said Naruto. Well, let me, and you spar. We haven't fought since the academy, said Kiba as his dog Akamaru barked in agreement. Flashback. You all seem ready for the Chunin exams, so once available I'll sign you up, but remember keep your abilities a secret until the exams, said Asuma. Why were all Konoha shinobi here in the village, said Ino. Well, once the exam starts, everyone is your enemy and rival, except for your teammates, said Asuma. What about our friends on the other team? Asked Naruto. I'm not going to say stop socializing with them, but there may be a point where you might be up against each other. So it will be bad if they know all your skills, strengths, and weaknesses, said Asuma. Ought I gotta go, training's over, but feel free to stay? As Asuma left the genin, all looked at each other. He's right, you know. When the exam started to US against everyone else, said Shikamaru. I know, but it will feel weird to fight someone like Sasuke. Seriously, said Ino. Maybe we can get a truce with them, suggested Naruto. That'll only work if everyone agrees with it. And even then, there might be a part where we are forced to fight or something of the sort, said Shikamaru. Well, I know Choji and Sakura won't be against it, said Ino. Same with Hinata and Shino, added Naruto. The two stubborn ones will be the ones worth convincing. Kiba and Sasuke. Well, if their teammates agree to it, then they should as well, said Ino. Maybe Kiba, but Sasuke would only do it if there's a threat he feels like he can't beat, and you know how high he regards himself, said Shikamaru. You're right, I'll see what I can do, said Naruto. Flashback end. No thanks, Kiba, I'm hungry. Sakura want to join me? Asked Naruto. Sure, Naruto beats dog breath here, said Sakura, which made Naruto laugh at the joke. Choji was about to join them, but was held back by Kiba. Well, me and Choji will train without you then, yelled Kiba. Wami thought Choji upset at not getting food. As Sakura and Naruto were walking to Ichiraku, they were making light conversation until they ran into Sasuke. Sasuke, said a surprised Sakura. What's up, Sasuke? We're getting something to eat. Want to join? Asked Naruto. Sure, said Sasuke. The three of them were walking until Naruto and Sasuke sensed something and leaped away, leaving Sakura in confusion until. Now, yelled a voice. A balloon soared through the air toward Sakura. It took a second, but Sakura saw what it was and tried leaping away as well, but she was too late. Orange paint splattered everywhere. Even though Sakura jumped away, it still got on her sandals and feet, leaving them orange. My sandals, yelled an angry Sakura. By this time, Naruto and Sasuke returned. Naruto was laughing loudly and Sasuke looked amused. The attacker revealed themselves, and it was Amma, the girl who treated herself as Naruto's sister. Man, I almost got you, big bro, whined Amma as Naruto and Sasuke were spotless. Good try. Might want to make something that is a little more silent. We heard that balloon as soon as you launched it, said Naruto. Little brat, said an enraged Sakura. You might want to run, suggested Naruto, and Sasuke even nodded in agreement. As Amma turned to the corner to escape Sakura's wrath, she bumped into something and fell from the impact. Sorry about that, said Amma as she dusted herself off. That hurt, said the person she bumped into. Huh, that hurt, brat, said the man who lifted Amma up by her hair. Stop it, we're going to get scolded for this later, said the woman with the man. Sakura turned the corner to see the event. What are you doing? Put her down, said Sakura. Who are they? They're not from here. I need payback, said the brat. If you don't put me down, my brother is going to beat you up, said Amma borderline, crying from her hair being pulled on. I'm not scared of your brother, said the man until he felt a presence behind him. You should be, said Naruto, who appeared behind the woman catching her off guard as well as shown with the kunai to her throat. Fast, thought both the man and woman. You let her go, I'll let this one go, said Naruto. Or do I have to tell the Hokage? We got Tsunejin messing with civilians. The man let Amma go, and Naruto the same with the woman. As Naruto began to walk, he felt something around his ankle. Realizing what it was, he decided to kick it, but was too late. Ow, said the man as he rubbed his hand. Sasuke was up on the nearby tree branch with some stones in his hands as he threw one at the hand the man was now rubbing. Nice trick with those chakra threads, but you can't get anything by me, said Sasuke. He's getting cocky again, thought and annoyed Naruto. I was on a kick so he would fall over, but whatever. Another brat, thought the man. Cute, thought the woman. Naruto rejoined Sakura and Amma. Where's your third teammate? Asked Sasuke. Right here, said another voice behind Sasuke, causing Sasuke to tense up. Kankuro, Temari, time to stop, unless you want to be killed. The two now known as Temari and Kankuro tensed up immensely. Right, Kankuro was just messing around, right, said Temari. Yep, said a nervous Kankuro. The third teammate then landed behind his two teammates. Let's go, said the genin. Wait, what's your name? Asked Sasuke as he landed in front of Naruto and Sakura. Who, me? Said a blushing Temari. No, the red-haired one, said Sasuke. Gaara, answered the now revealed Gaara. I'm interested in you three as well. Sasuke Uchiha, answered Sasuke. Sakura Haruno, said Sakura, confused on why she was so interesting to him. I don't give out my name that easily, especially to future competitors, said Naruto. Now, excuse us, we're going to get some food. As Naruto said that he body flickered with Amma and Sakura, and Sasuke followed suit. The blonde was cute too, thought Temari. Gotta keep an eye on those two guys, thought Kankuro. Interesting, thought Gaara, he'll be in the exams too. Naruto and the others landed outside Ichiraku. Hey, I'ma tell the old man, get ready for 4 customers, said Naruto. Right, said Amma as she went inside the establishment. I was actually going to talk to you guys about the exams, but we have another issue. That Gaara is dangerous, stay away at all costs, said Naruto. I hate to agree, but he's dangerous, said Sasuke. Don't have to tell me twice, said Sakura, scared at the thought of him. The other matter is that I thought it would be good if our 3 teams had a truce, especially since now that Suna team probably thinks we're teammates, said Naruto. My team is good with it, but it's up to you to convince them. It will take some convincing to convince Kiba, but Choji should be cool with it, said Sakura. Yeah, my team should be good with it as well, said Sasuke. Naruto presented out 3 earpieces, 2 for Sasuke and Sakura, and 1 for himself. Here, these are for emergencies, only if you feel like your team is in serious danger, such as death otherwise. Just put them away, said Naruto. All right, they both said. Now let's eat, said an overly enthusiastic Naruto as he entered Ichiraku. Nara compound. Shikamaru was playing shogi against his father as usual, but Shikaku, his father, could sense something was off with Shikamaru. So how's the team? I know you were a little upset that Choji wasn't a part of it, said Shikaku. I wasn't upset. I just felt sorry for him since he was with 2 loudmouths in Sakura and Kiba, said Shikamaru. You have 2 loudmouths as well, said Shikaku. Naruto isn't as loud as you would think. Plus, somehow he's keeping Ino quieter as well, said Shikamaru as he moved his piece. That's good, me. And Chozen never found a way to keep a Noichi quiet, said Shikaku as he took Shikamaru's piece. I guess I just feel like these Chunin exams are not going to end well, and that this might be a turning point here in Konoha, said Shikamaru. I see, well, I'm not supposed to tell you, but there are more villages getting involved in this Chunin exams, which is caused by your group of friends, said Shikaku as he pulled out the bingo book and flipped to the appropriate page and showing his son. You and your friend's action got attention of the ninja world. So now you have people viewing you all as potential threats. Plus, it doesn't help that out of the 9 of you, 7 are from clans and Naruto is the son of the 4th. Yeah, I heard from Choji that his team saved a small village, but didn't know it would get attention like this. Naruto told me that Sasuke's team took on a missing nin like us and saved a town, but I didn't think it would get world attention, said Shikamaru. Soaring leaves, really? Well, that has a very small part. Kiri is trying to get their name back up on people's radar, while Kimo and IWA are interested in Naruto since his dad got the attention of both Raikage and Tsuchikage. This will be the first time in many years that all 5 villages participate in the same Chunin exams, since Suna was already coming, explained Shikaku. Troublesome. A lot of pressure on my team then, said Shikamaru as he made another move taking one of his father's pieces. Yes, but if you all aren't Chunin strength already, then you almost are. You and Ino's training makes you Chunin within the clan skill-wise now. It's up to how you perform in front of the village, said Shikaku as he got Shikamaru in check. Yeah, that's reassuring, but if these other villages are sending Jinin to take the exams, then they have to be the best, probably holding them back just for this one exam, said Shikamaru as he got out of check. Well, I guess you got to make sure you and your team are ready then. You have to lead them in there, since Asuma won't be there, said Shikaku as he got back into check. Damn, I'm trapped. I'm not the leader of the team, said Shikamaru as he moved his piece to get out of check again. Well, unless you let Naruto or Ino do all the planning, then it's you. It's your time to come out the shadows, Shikamaru, said Shikaku. But shouldn't we stay in the shadow, Dad, said Shikamaru. No, we use them to our advantage as we coexist with them, said Shikaku as he got his son in checkmate. Yamanaka Flower Shop. Ino was simply bored at her job. It was getting close to fall, meaning a lot of the summer customers were no longer buying flowers, as they probably wouldn't last as long as it was starting to get colder. As she was waiting at the counter, 2 people came in. It was Hinata Hyuga and her little sister Hanabi. Oh, Hinata, you usually don't come in here. What can I do for you? Said Ino. Hi, Ino. I was looking for some flowers, said Hinata. For what occasion? Asked the Yamanaka as she motioned towards all the flowers. They're a gift for a boy she likes, said Hanabi bluntly as Hinata's face immediately turned red. Hinata likes someone. You have to tell me who, said Ino. It's Dash, started Hanabi until Hinata covered her mouth. A secret, Hinata carried on. Come on, tell me. Is it Naruto? Asked Ino. I mean, it's not impossible to fall for your best friend. And no, it's not Naruto-kun, said Hinata. You haven't met him. Oh, that's a shame. You and Naruto would be perfect for each other. But if it's someone I haven't met, does it mean he's in your clan? No, he does not belong to the clan, said Hinata, while Hanabi was still struggling to get free. So he must be older than us, right? Said Ino. Yes, he is, said Hanabi as she got free. Hanabi, said Hinata, warning her. Fine, sis, I won't tell your little secret, said Hanabi. So he's older than us, and he's not a Hyuga, not much to go on, but maybe the flower will help, thought Ino. Okay, what kind of flower were you looking for? Asked Ino. A lotus, answered Hinata as she was looking around. Okay, right over here, Hinata, said Ino. Konoha meeting room. The Konoha meeting room was a long room with a long table to go with it. It was meant to be the place where all the village leaders and influencers were to discuss matters referring to the village. The people involved were the clan's head, the Hokage, the council, a select few jonin, and a few civilians. Today they were discussing a number of matters, one of which was a rather interesting one to a lot of the members. What to do with the soaring leaves? Look, all I'm saying is that having a group similar to the other villages could only boost our strength, said Hamura. But they are still children, said Inoichi. Inoichi-san, please let your bias towards your daughter go away, and look at it this way, we have 7 of the major 9 clans in this group 8. If Naruto would accept Tsunade-san's recommendation of adoption, said Danzo. Look, Naruto will do it. When he wants to, it has more to do than just changing a name, commented Tsunade, who prefers to stay silent in this discussion along with Jiraiya. We understand, Tsunade-san. However, that doesn't change the fact that these 9 are a special group, said Koharu. I agree that a group with a representative of each major clan is a good idea, but we have to remember they're still Jinin. Why don't we just have some other Chunin or Jonin in each clan form this group, said Shikaku. That might work, but we don't have many young Chunin or Jonin with as much potential as this group, said Shibi. Hayashi, you've been very quiet during this. Do you have anything you wish to add? Said Choza. I do. This is a great idea in concept, but what happens if some don't reach the potential that others do? I'm not afraid to admit this, but Naruto should be stronger than my daughter once in their peaks. Then what happens to the power scaling? Does one get replaced? When they are not up to par with the others, said Hayashi, does my daughter get replaced by her cousin? Does Kiba get replaced by his sister? Yes, is this a group because of the clans or because of this group of kids? If you want clans, then why not have the strongest of each clan join a group, said some. This has to with this specific group of kids, answered Hiruzen, who has been letting everyone talk while he observes Kakashi. We brought this up today because after our 3-team Sirank later upgraded mission, the Nin Genin are now in the potential threats section. This has not been published globally yet, as I get an advance copy, and probably won't until the Chunin exams are finished completely, explained Kakashi, as they only originally brought up the concept of the 9 Genin in a group, have not elaborated since then. We agree we all have talented genin, but we fear that this may not be the best way for them to grow, added Asuma. They might be 12 to 13 years old, older than most of us when we turn genin, but most of us didn't have a target on our back before we were Chunin, concluded Kurenai. I see, well, maybe they need an early promotion, suggested Shikami. Inoichi and Choza already discussed this, and Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji are all Chunin strength within in the clan, as they already are learning way more Chunin level techniques than what is the norm. I can say the same about Shino. His quest to acquire more insects are remarkably high, and it won't be long until his insects get stronger than mine, said Shibi. Kiba knows most of our clan's techniques, but what interests me is that he's making up his own, which is really impressive, said some. I see Kurenai, Hayashi, Jiraiya, and Itachi, how are Sakura, Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke's development, asked Danzo. Sakura is becoming quite the kunoichi. Her knowledge of the basics increase every day, and she can potentially be the most well-rounded shinobi in the village, but she is yet to find a specialization. I've interested her in Jinjutsu, but I can see that is not her passion, said Kurenai. Hinata's is growing, as she should be already being very proficient in the gentle fist and learning a number of our techniques, but she is still struggling with the more advanced ones such as the rotation, said Hayashi. I do have to add that Naruto's influence on her and her cousin have drastically improved her development. Naruto is to say the least scary, said Jiraiya. He's not a genius like his father, but his will learn to is unrivaled as he was luckily blessed with his father's speed and mother's chakra. Taijutsu came more naturally when instructed the finer points of it. He's alright in Jinjutsu, but he never had much attraction to it anyways. But his ninjutsu is what makes him scary. Training with Tsunade here at an early age fixed any chakra control issues he might have had when growing up, but with this he's a ninjutsu sponge, said Jiraiya. What I think Jiraiya is trying to say is that my teaching him of the body and chakra made him an easy learner. He sees things very closely as I've trained him in medical ninjutsu, but he uses that to learn techniques on a different level, said Tsunade. Please explain Tsunade or Asuma, as you are his teacher at the moment, said Danzo, curious on Naruto's growth. His medical background translated seamlessly into fighting. He already knows the basics of all 5 elements as he can see how others use their techniques such as my wind or Jiraiya's fire, and be able to mimic it until he can get it himself, said Asuma. It's rather scary once I actually think about it, as in one training session, he easily copied a taijutsu move Ino did and used it in a fight, as it was a natural instinct to imagine once he could start copying Jonin-level taijutsu like guys. He makes mistakes, and he's still not the smartest guy out there. And trust me, I try to fix that, said Tsunade, but his will to learn is great as he practices almost 24/7. Good now, Itachi, please go over Sasuke's development, said Danzo. I still can't believe he's alive. Flashback. As the Uchiha coup seemed more evident, the council consisting of Hiruzen, Danzo, Hamura, and Koharu were almost in full agreement that it would end in a civil war, but later Shursui came up with a suggestion. He suggested to use his Kodoemet Tsukumi to change the clan's mind. Kodoemet Tsukumi is powerful that can change the mind of others by giving them false experiences, but at the cost of the user's eye. Many were opposed to this, especially Hiruzen, but they all eventually agreed upon it. Shursui, later about to attend one of the clan's coup meeting, was getting ready as they all need to be in his field of vision, but as soon as he was about to go, Danzo stopped him. Danzo removed his bandages to reveal his own Sharingan, and with that single glance, Shursui fell victim to Danzo's own Kodoemet Tsukumi. Danzo used the Kodoemet Tsukumi to have Shursui change his mind to hate the clan and have been ordered to eliminate them, and he begun. It was until Itachi, who later arrived, managed to stop Shursui and save about 35% of the clan, his brother included, but had lost the clan head Fugaku along with his wife Mikoto. With Itachi stopping Shursui, he panicked and Shursui fled the village, and with his body flicker technique, no one could catch him at the time. With his father's end, after a few years, Itachi became head of the Uchiha clan. Flashback end. Sasuke's development is going exceedingly well. He knows more techniques than I did at his age, and he's learning the essence of teamwork, said Itachi calmly. And now that we know the development of the Nine, we can all agree that if these were war times, they would have already been Chunin, said Hamura. But we are not in war, retorted Inoichi. Agreed, but I think we all can agree that us having no ally isn't good in this time of peace. Even Suna, our neighbors, look to be more hostile towards us, said Koharu. We all agree that tension has not alleviated the five countries, but us putting a new elite group will only entice them, said Choza. We need to be prepared for the inevitable, and us being caught with our hand behind our backs is not the way, said Hamura. All right, said Hiruzen, shutting everybody up. We all see the benefit of such a group, but the first question is, are these 9 genin ready for that kind of pressure? Excuse me, Hokusama, said Itachi, but I think the first question should rather be if they're ready at all. Maybe Naruto and Sasuke are ready, but what about the other 7? What are you suggesting? Asked Hiruzen. How about we bring this conversation up again after the second stage of the Chunin exams? Then we have a month in between to gauge their strength based off their performance in the exams, said Itachi. Even if they all don't make the third exam, we can have a good gauge of them against other genin. Is everyone fine with that plan? Said Hiruzen. The clan heads seemed fine with it. The civilians seemed okay with it, while the council seemed hesitant. And what then if they perform? Well, do we make it official? And not then we don't seem awfully simple to me, said Hamura. I feel that their performances will have a change on everyone's opinion, and that will help in the decision. It's only sensible to scout them ourselves. I might say it's okay for Sasuke, but I might not say the same about Hinata. So to see all of them will be beneficial, said Itachi. All right, we'll do it your way, Itachi. We'll meet back here once the second part of the exam is over. Try not to tell the genin of the group, as the pressure beforehand will not be beneficial. Dismissed, said the third Hokage. Shikamaru, son of Shikaku and Yoshinonara, a lazy yet intelligent ninja, he likes to stay back part in relation to his laziness, but also due to his eye to detail to go with his high-level planning. Shikamaru's closest friends are Choji, Ino, Naruto, and Kiba, as they all grew to like the guy he's become and can see his inner genius. He's lazy, but will do his job. He doesn't like thrusting responsibilities of things he can do himself to others. He doesn't like to lead, but will always chime in. A tactician who's known to make good use of his pieces. Asuma. He's lazy, but if he isn't the smartest person in Konoha, then it is Dad is the only one above him. I can see him lead a team from behind as his skill set doesn't encourage being up front, but based on the shinobi around him determines how good he could be potential skill level. Jonin. Ino, the lazy kid, I really don't know how he's so laid back a lot of time. It's actually really frustrating, but he's like a brother. It's weird since we were born a day apart with him being a day before me. I literally have known him all my life. So I'll stick by him since someone has to make him get off his, but since I know Asuma Sensei and Naruto won't do at potential skill level. Jonin, but he'll settle for Chunin. Naruto. Shikamaru's awesome. It kind of makes me jealous of how smart he is. To be able to plan ahead like that is so cool. He's like my third best friend. Don't tell Sasuke and Hinata they have competition. So having him right behind me in battle is relaxing, so I know that if I get too excited, he's there with a level head. Potential skill level. Jonin Commander, just like his dad Chunin exams. The last month was weird for Team 10. Asuma instructed his team to work on their individual skills to prepare for the exams, as they had unbelievable teamwork for a fresh new team. Team 10 gets along smoothly as they understand their roles, personalities, strengths, and weaknesses already. While other teams have a struggle to get along, like Team 8 with their mashing personalities or their egos, like Team 7. It's not like Team 10 doesn't see each other. They still go out to eat, hang out, and go on the occasional drink, but they don't train together, whether it's through their teamwork or actual techniques and jutsus. Asuma wanted them to focus on growing separately so they could be stronger together, while his other senseis would want them to grow together. He checks in on all of them, since as their sensei, he needs to be supervising at least some of their training, and they really surprised him in their progress. Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru headed to the building where the exams were being held. They decided to be quiet to not draw attention. Naruto even wore a hooded version of the outfit he usually wears so his bright hair won't draw attention to them. Ino already had the mind transmission up, so they can still communicate as they were headed to the where everyone was surrounding, and then they saw Team 7 causing commotion. Well, mostly Sasuke. "You have a Jinjutsu on the sign. Let us pass," said Sasuke, which made the two Chunin bodyguards only smirk and shake their heads. "Go on through," said one of the bodyguards as he let Sasuke, Team 7, and everyone else who was confused by the Jinjutsu. "Idiot," thought Shikamaru. "Why is that Shika?" thought Ino. He just added more competition by exposing the Jinjutsu, thought Shikamaru. "That means," thought Ino. "The exams have already started. Let's go," thought Naruto. They entered the room, which was already filled with teams. They already spotted out the other rookies and decided to gravitate towards them. "It looks like all the rookies are here," said Kiba as he and the rest of Team 8 approached them with Team 7 close behind. As they all made light conversation, Naruto and Sasuke were talking to each other separately. "Any other teams to look out for other than that sand team?" asked Naruto. "Three more, but they don't feel the same as that Gaara guy," said Sasuke. "The Kiri team with the blue-haired boy and the guy that looks like a girl is one. The guy that looks like a girl is Haku, and he was the apprentice that we ran into on our A rank. So it looks like they rejoined Kiri and have him listed as a genin, but he's easily Chunin strength. Me and Shino couldn't take him down until Hinata told him, and Zabuza about how Kiri's civil war is over, thanks by the way. No problem. So he's the one that uses ice style, all right? Anyone else to look out for?" "The Kumo team over there and an IWA team near us," said Sasuke as he made a movement to indicate who he was talking about. "That Kumo team is the only Kumo team to have swords, so they must be advanced in at least that way," said Naruto. "Yeah, and that IWA team has the daughter of the Tsuchikage and a mysterious white-haired guy who I can't get a read on," said Sasuke. So they sent their most promising IWA team to show Konoha up, as they are only one of 3 IWA teams here. As that was happening, a guy with silver hair was approaching the rookies. "Hey guys, you should be more quiet. They don't like rookies here in these exams," said the man who had approached the group of 9. "And who are you?" asked Kiba. "Who is he, Naruto?" asked Shikamaru through the mind transmission. "I don't know," thought Naruto. "I thought you knew almost all shinobi our age and up, and he's clearly older than us," thought Ino. "Yeah, but let's find out." Shikamaru talked to him to see what he's up to. "Me and Sasuke are heading your way," thought Naruto as he motioned Sasuke over to where the man was, and they headed that way. I'm Kabuto, and I've taken this exam 7 times already, so I thought I would share some wisdom to the rookies, said Kabuto. You must be quite inadequate to take these exams that many times, said the Sasuke as he and Naruto took their place up front. Well, since the exams are bi-yearly, meaning this is my 4th year, and I know my first 2 years I was nowhere near ready as I was the past 2 years, said Kabuto. Since I've been going to these exams many years, I have a lot of info on other ninjas in Konoha and other villages. Okay, Rock Lee of Konoha, said Shino as he saw him, and Sasuke fought him, and he was extremely skilled. Rock Lee, 13 years old, 2nd year, as a genin extremely gifted in taijutsu, and also first Chunin exam, not much known other than that, said Kabuto. Gaara of the Sand, said Sasuke. Gaara is 12 years old, also a rookie, gifted in ninjutsu, and is competing with his 2 siblings. Not much known except for the fact he has never had scratch on him during a mission, said Kabuto. Okay, Naruto Namikaze, said Kiba, really interested on what it says on one of his friends and rivals. Okay, Nachunam. I got a better one, Kabuto. How about yourself? It would be wrong to not have info on yourself, said Ino, noticing he was saying Naruto's name louder than the others. Thanks, Ino, thought Naruto. Well, dash. As soon as Kabuto started talking some sound ninja, caused a commotion, but luckily as soon as it started, the proctor interrupted by yelling and asserting his dominance over the genin. I am Ibiki Marino, and the proctor for the first part of the exam. Enter your seats where the Chunin tells you. All the genin took their seats as instructed. Shikamaru was in the back near Shino. Ino was on the right middle near Kabuto, Kiba, and Kankuro, while Naruto was near the middle around Choji and Gaara, and awkwardly sitting next to Haku, the white-haired IWA genin, and in front of Gaara. The tension was very high in that section, and some of the other genin were sweating from the intimidation. Ibiki reached the front of the room to announce the rules of the first part. The first exam is a written exam, dash. Ibiki started until he and everyone else heard a loud thud, which they all turned to Naruto, who had banged his head against the desk. Why? Why is there a written test here? I thought I was done with all that, thought Naruto. It's okay, Naruto will help you this time, thought Shikamaru. Shika, Oino's jutsu is still up cool, thought Naruto. Ibiki had continued talking as they were communicating. The exam was 10 questions, with the 10th question being told later. They had 30 minutes to finish the other 9. If they get caught cheating more than 2 times, then them and their team will be eliminated. Their tests were cumulative amongst their teams, so they need to average over half right. And if one fails, they all fail, and the test is taken into consideration of the whole exam. So getting 6 out of 10 right is not ideal if shinobi don't do good on the other parts. Begin, stated Ibiki. So they want us to cheat, concluded Shikamaru, as took a look at his test. How you get that idea? Thought Ino. They say if we get caught cheating more than 2 times, we're eliminated. Why wouldn't they say if we cheat at all? Thought Shikamaru. Oh, okay, thought Ino, understanding it now. I know about 4 of these already, but they're tough. Only people like Sakura would really know the answers to all of these, thought Shikamaru. All right, let's do those first, then worry about the others. And even in 6 out of 9 is still passing, concluded Naruto. As it was unclear if Team 10's telepathy was counted as cheating or not, since it was already up before the exam started and didn't know if the chunin around the room could tell if they were communicating or not, so they try to play it safe. Other Genin were cheating too. Sasuke was using his Sharingan, Hinata using her Byakugan, Shino was using his insects, Kiba was using Akamaru, and more Genin were using other various ways. Naruto could see that the Haku guy next to him had created a small ice mirror to look off of, and Gaara made an eye in the sky. So everyone had a way to cheat. It wasn't long until the 30 minutes were over. Many teams were eliminated, but it wasn't anything too drastic. You could tell that some people were content with bad scores. Okay, we need at least 2 more to be average. How are we to do that? Thought Ino as she finished her 4th question. My skills would make it too obvious, since if I control someone, I can't shut them up, thought Shikamaru. And I don't know who to use my mind transfer on to get the right answer, since everyone's answers should be different, and no telling who's correct, thought Ino. Then they have to have someone who knows the right answer, thought Naruto. What do you mean? Thought Ino. He's right if the purpose is to cheat, then there's no purpose to cheat off of each other, since there's a possibility that no one knows one answer. So someone in this room must know all the answers, thought Shikamaru. Like a plant? Thought Ino. Yeah, so find someone who's confident in their answers and isn't using any sort of technique to cheat, that also isn't an idiot. He should be calm, not rushing, but not going too slow either, thought Naruto as he and the others secretly scanned the room. I think I found him, and I can see the answers clearly since it doesn't look like he's trying to hide them, thought Naruto. Good, that sounds right, read them back to us, thought Shikamaru. Naruto was only able to read around 3 of the answers as the rest were out of his view thanks to people's head and shoulders, meaning assuming all the answers were right, they all had 7 ninths. While waiting on the 10th question, they each tried, working through the other 2 separately, but had no luck. Shikamaru put his best educated guess. Ino just guessed while Naruto gave up on trying to answer them, which he was content with. All right, here's the 10th question. If you take it and get it wrong, you and your team can no longer take the Chunin exams ever again in any village, said Ibiki. Many of the Genin were furious, yelling, complaining, cursing, but it didn't matter to Ibiki or the Chunin in the room. However, if you don't want to risk it, you may leave and take it at a later exam, but your teammates have to leave with you, said Ibiki, which quieted everyone else down. Many teams were leaving more than teams being eliminated from cheating. Let me know if any of our friends are getting temptations. I can't see any of them from here, as everyone around me is staying put, thought Naruto. Well, you better think of something. I see Sakura and Choji debating over it, thought Ino. I also see Hinata debating it also, added Shikamaru. Okay, thought Naruto as he thinks he came up with an idea. Naruto stood up, drawing all attention to him. I'm not giving up, and I don't run away. Taking the easy way out is not the best way to move on in life. So I'll take the risk of being a Genin forever. I know that doesn't interfere with my dream and goals. So go ahead, give me the 10th question, and let's see what happens. All I know is that whoever's left is ready to take the risks, just like me, and those are the ones who are ready, said Naruto as his speech motivated Hinata and Choji from giving up, and Sakura not to worry about affecting her teammates. But you'll be a Genin the rest of your life, added Ibiki. I don't care if I'm Genin forever. I'll just be the first Genin to go on S-rank missions. Genin just a rank, not a measure of one's skills, countered Naruto. All right, is anyone else leaving? No. All right, you all pass, said Ibiki, which caused a lot of confusion among the genin. The 10th question was just a scare tactic. As Chunin, you have to take risks, and this was a way to show if you were ready to take the risks associated with the job. Some genin understood, but others didn't. The other 9 questions are still important, as they are to test your intelligence and information gathering, said Ibiki. We had Chunin disguised as genin who knew the correct answers, since you can't trust your enemy, and misinformation is worse than no information. Makes sense as staying at square one is better than taking a step back. Many genin were pleased to see that they passed the first test, even going as far as doing mini celebrations. As Abiki finished his closing statement, smoke appeared out of nowhere and a purple-haired woman appeared. I'm Anko Mitarashi, and let's go to the second exam, said Anko as she made her entrance, but then paused to count the genin. Ibiki, this is way too many genin. Sorry, we have a good group here, and besides, most of them stayed because of that one, Ibiki said as he pointed to Naruto. Meanwhile, as Anko was looking, Naruto was trying to hide himself in his hood. Naruto Namikaze, you better say hi to me, said Anko as she approached him and took off his hood. Iamku. Naruto sweat dropped. Meanwhile, many of the genin were whispering amongst each other, as now the son of the 4th Hokage has now been revealed. Well, there goes his plan to hide himself for as long as possible, said Shikamaru. Why did Naruto want to hide himself? Asked Shino as the people surrounding them have been eliminated. So we won't be a target for many teams, responded Shikamaru. I see. Yeah, apparently a lot of genin came just because of Naruto and Sasuke, the son of the 4th Hokage and first the Uchiha prodigy ever since his brother. Yeah, and that would mean a lot of pressure and adversity for our teams, said Shino as he watched how many of the genin's attention had shifted to Naruto, who was being bothered by Anko. All right, I'm the second proctor of this exam. I will give you information on where to go to your team leader meet there first thing in the morning you're dismissed, said Anko. As Team 10 were headed out, the building Naruto was stopped. It was Haku. Nice to meet you, Naruto. I'm Haku, said Haku as he presented his hand to shake. Hey, Haku, you're the one from Sasuke and Hinata's mission, right? Said Naruto as he shook Haku's hand. Yes, I would like to thank you as I have heard you are the one that gave Hinata the information about Kiri, said Haku. Oh, no problem. I'm glad that it all worked out, said Naruto as he remembered the scroll he had lent Hinata, which contained information and news about Kiri. And as thanks, I would like to let you know to watch out as I'm strong, said Haku. I've been told that I'm here to show the strength of Kiri, as like you say, my skill surpasses my rank. Oh yeah, well don't count out Konoha, we're strong too, said Naruto as he and Team 10 walked off. Next day, all the remaining teams arrived in front of the Forest of Death with Anko explaining the rules. It was simple, each team would get a Heaven or Earth scroll. The challenge was to get the opposite scroll and make it to the destination within 5 days. With both scrolls, no killing was allowed, but just in case, Anko had everyone sign waivers. All right, those are the rules. Have one member head over to the desk to get your scroll and gate assignment, said Anko. As everyone went to their gates, Team 10 were discussing their plan. All right, who holds the scroll? Asked Naruto. Well, you would be too obvious since you're the strongest, said Ino. But we're also obvious since we're weaker, added Shikamaru. How about we keep switching? Naruto suggested. All right, that's fine. To add safety, Naruto sealed the Earth Scroll in a regular scroll and gave possession to Ino for first possession. All right, Naruto in front me, and Ino will be on your side, said Shikomu. That way you will challenge anyone first. The Chunin who was guarding Team 10's gate moved aside, signaling the start of the second exam. And as he moved, Team 10 leapt into the trees. As they were leaping from branch to branch, they were quietly discussing their plan. So, you want to steadily make our way towards the destination. And if we don't have a scroll by, then we have to camp and ambush another team, said Ino. Yeah, there's no need to search out teams since Naruto already gave us an unnecessary target on our backs. So we should just worry about surviving, said Shikamaru. Yeah, I didn't intend on letting people know who I was until the final part, but Anko had to go and ruin it, said Naruto. What is your relationship with her? You seem to know her pretty well, said Ino. Well, my dad was trained by Jiraiya of the Sannin, while Tsunade trained Shizen and Orochimaru trained Anko, so they were all linked to each other despite the age difference. So, since I'm also trained by Uncle Jiraiya, I now fall into that group. So we see each other constantly, said Naruto. Except for Orochimaru, added Shikamaru. Except for Orochimaru, confirmed Naruto. So, because of that connection, Shizune and Anko act like big sisters while Tsunade acts like my aunt. That's a nice relationship to have, said Ino. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be nice if you can have Isuma Sensei as a guardian for our kids, and we could be older siblings to his, said Naruto, trying to compare the relationship to Team 10. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like with Mishika's and Choji's clans. They're so close it's not strange to stay with each other overnight, or something since the relationship is so deep, said Ino. It would be nice to know you can't count on more people, said Shikamu. And before they knew it, Shuriken were headed towards them, around 50 of them. But for no use, his team 10 dodged them all by heading to a clearing to meet the opposing team. And as they landed, the opposing team landed, revealing to be the Kimo team Sasuke had mentioned to Naruto earlier. It was 2 boys and a girl, a typical team. However, 2 of them had swords on their backs, not tantos, but real swords, meaning they're trained well enough to use a full sword. Well, it seems the son of the Yellow Flash can dodge, but for how long? Said the female as she charged towards Team 10. Hothead, thought Shikamaru, as Ino and Naruto could only agree. I'll engage, remember, no need to use ninjutsu, as we need to conserve for a few days. Cover me if things start to look bad, thought Naruto, as he withdrew a kunai to engage the female kimonin. The 2 nin met in a clash as they struggled, using their strength to gain dominance. Naruto let out a slight smirk as he began to lose strength and balance and began to fall over. The sudden switch shocked the female as she fell over as well. Naruto then bent his legs to proceed to kick the girl up in the air. As Naruto got up to prepare the follow-up, he was engaged by the male with the sword, who made him back up with a downward strike the swordsman had tried. As he backed up, the female came down and tried a similar downward strike, which just made Naruto back jump again. But this time the male swordsman used his female teammate as a balance, as he used her back to hold himself up as he propelled himself for a kick, which made Naruto block and get pushed back a little bit. He was then barraged by the 2 swordsmen who were fighting perfectly in sync. The female was more aggressive while the male was more passive. Guys, thought Naruto as he found himself in a tight situation, which was accurate as he saw a fireball headed his way coming from the 3rd teammate. and the two swordsmen were chasing him down, leaving not a lot of room. Ino sent out shuriken to divide the swordsmen up, which allowed Naruto to dodge the fireball. Divide and conquer, thought Shikamaru as he went through hand signs preparing his jutsu. Ino went to engage the fire user in the back, who proceeded to start retreating from her, as Shikamaru sent his shadow towards the unsuspecting female swordsman, successfully possessing her, leaving Naruto all alone with the male swordsman. "Karui," said the surprised male swordsman as he saw his teammate was no longer moving. "I'm fine, Omoi. This one's a Nara. Just handle the yellow flashes, son, on your own until the Nara's control loosen." "I have a name, you know," commented Naruto. "We know Naruto, but she's being hard-headed by referring to you as that," said Omoi. Omoi had short, spiky white hair, dark skin, and a lollipop in his mouth. Karui was a red-headed girl with yellow eyes and similar dark skin, and the third teammate was a brunette with a strange hat on as his forehead protector. Shikamaru feel around to see if she has a scroll on her, thought Ino. Already on it, and she doesn't have it, thought Shikamaru. "It's probably your guy Ino since he's running away from you. I'll stay on this guy until proven otherwise," thought Naruto. "Hurry up, don't know how long I can hold this on her," thought Shikamaru. Naruto engaged Omoi, who had a more passive style, as he was mostly dodging and blocking. "I gotta get rid of that sword." "Got it." Naruto sped up his combat speed, throwing Omoi off at the increase in speed as he was struggling to defend, and stopped attacking altogether. Naruto went for a leg sweep, but Omoi jumped over it. However, Naruto used the motion to transition into a backflip, which kicked Omoi's hand, making him drop his sword. Naruto caught it and pointed at Omoi's neck. "Okay, you got me," said Omoi as he put his hands up in defeat. "Who has the scroll?" asked Naruto as he motioned Omoi up against a tree, and Shikamaru was following suit with Karui as he was still possessing her. "Junior does," said Karui, talking about the third teammate who was still running from Ino. Shikamaru tied up Omoi and Karui to a tree as Naruto went to assist Ino. "What's the problem, Ino?" said Naruto, as he found that Junior was surrounded by earth walls blocking him off from others. "I can't break those earth walls," said a frustrated Ino. "Use the Thunder Sword," suggested Naruto. "Why?" "Lightning beats earth, so that should easily pierce the wall," said Naruto. Ino took out the sword of the Thunder God hilt and activated it, and easily pierced the wall and broke it apart, surprising Junior. "All right, Junior, your team's defeated. Give us the scroll, and we'll leave," said Naruto. "My name isn't Junior, it's Dodai. I'm just named after my dad. And here," said Dodai as he presented Naruto a heaven scroll. That was easy, thought Shikamaru, as they already got the scroll they were looking for. "Pleasure fighting you," said Naruto as he and Team 10 leapt away. "He didn't seem that strong," commented Dodai as he untied Karui and Omoi. "He didn't use any ninjutsu against us," said Karui. "And didn't go full speed against me," added Omoi. "We're screwed." As they were leaping away, and Naruto was explaining to Ino about the chakra natures, Shikamaru brought something up. "I never did ask, but did you ever find a way to contact Team 7 and 8? asked Shikamaru. "I did," said Naruto as he took out his earbud. "I gave Sasuke and Sakura each one earbud for emergencies. It will vibrate when someone is trying to get in contact." But what happens if Sasuke or Sakura is knocked out? Asked Ino. Naruto widened his eyes in realization that if they didn't tell their teammates like he did, they would be in trouble. As soon as Naruto thought that the earbud started to vibrate, Naruto put it in his ear and immediately answered. "Ichiro," said a voice. "Yes, it's Naruto," said Naruto. "Naruto-kun. Thank goodness my team needs help," said the voice. "Hinata, where are you and what happened?" asked Naruto. "We're near the east side of the forest, and both Sasuke and Shino are unconscious. Lee just got here, but it's still 2 against 3, said Hinata. "All right, we're on our way," said Naruto as he and Team 10 leapt east. "I wonder how Sasuke and Shino got rendered unconscious," wondered Shikamaru. "Doesn't matter, our friends need our help, and they're probably up against a decent team if Hinata not strong enough to hold her own," said Naruto. "No question, but who in this exam is really that strong to knock out Sasuke, as well as Shino?" wondered Ino. "More than we thought," concluded Shikamaru, as the 3 kept dashing over to the east. Meanwhile, Team 8 were in a state of shock as they just witnessed a Gar massacre with their own eyes. They were so terrified that they didn't feel or hear Sakura's earbud vibrating. "I think we can all agree for once to stay away from them," said Sakura. "No question," said Choji. "Right," said Kiba as Akamaru barked in agreement. Team 10 had finally made it to the area where Team 7 was that they made it in time to see Lee do his primary lotus on his opponent, and also to see the opponent's teammate save him while Lee's opponent also made Lee kneel over from seemingly nothing. How did that guy damage Lee without making good contact? "I know Lee's much stronger than that poor excuse of a punch," said Naruto as he and Team 7 were observing their opponent before jumping in. Sound. Realized through. The Sound Village must use types of sound in their attacks, and that must be the village that EUI said he was staying at and where he got his boomerang. So they all must have a type of sound-based attack, and that one guy must have a frequency that can make them feel pain and nausea, said Ino as she sees Lee holding his ear. "Naruto, you have any more of those earplugs?" asked Shikamaru. "Yeah, I have 2 more pair, but that's not enough for Hinata and Lee," said Naruto. "That's fine. Ino, extend the transmission to Hinata and dash," said Shikamaru as they watched Lee fall over, rendering him unconscious, to Hinata, so we all can communicate. "All right, I'll go first, you all hide," said Naruto as he leapt down into the clearing. Naruto landed in front of Hinata and Lee and casually put his hands in his pockets. "Hinata, everything okay?" thought Naruto. "Yeah, just got to get used to Ino's jutsu," thought Hinata as she shook her head to get used to the feeling. "Mishika and Ino are wearing earplugs, so we can't hear them or you out loud, and we don't have enough for you, so if they say something, tell us, since we can't read lips," thought Naruto. Okay, Dosu just knocked Lee out with the device on his right arm, and Zaka has air ducts on his hands, which is how he saved Dosu by making the ground softer. I don't know what the girl does, thought Hinata. "All right, I'll handle them. And while I do that, tell us how your team got this way," thought Naruto as he cracked his knuckles. Naruto first went for the girl named Kin to immediately scout out what she does. He immediately engaged her in taijutsu, but he went at a faster speed than which he did against Omoy, which she couldn't handle after a few punches. He put her in a headlock to threaten her teammates. "Shika, thought Naruto as he was in front of the bush that Shikamaru and Ino were hiding behind. Shadow Possession Jutsu, Shikamaru's shadows enveloped Naruto and Kin, but loosened it enough for Naruto to escape. Dosu, Zaku, he's not alone, said Kin as she was unable to move but still talk. Naruto knew she was talking, but ignored and blitzed past Dosu and headed for Zaku. The speed got Zako off guard as he got kicked with a front kick, lifting him off the ground slightly. Naruto followed that off with another kick which was blocked, but the momentum was still there as Zaku was knocked into a tree. Naruto wasn't done, however, as he immediately got Ninja wire to tie Zaku's arms up together. Naruto went to look for Dosu, only to see he was making his way towards Hinata. Hinata, who was too tired from her previous encounter, didn't have the energy to block. Naruto saw this and rushed to help. He, however, couldn't get there in time to prevent the attack, but he was there to block the right-handed punch from Dosu with his forearm. Team 7 and Hinata were then surprised when they started to see Naruto bleed from his ears and look nauseated. You think my resonating echo speaker is only a sound-based weapon, then you would be wrong. It's also a vibration weapon, and right now, it's sending a vibration through your insides that would give you a very bad experience, said Dosu, as he brought back his arm to see Naruto kneel over in pain and nausea with Hinata to support him. Now, just hand us the Uchiha, and we'll leave, said Dosu as he was saying this Shikamaru's jutsu was weakening and Zaku was finding a way out the wires. Naruto, with one last push, stood up and placed his hand on Dosu's chest and readied his jutsu back off. Wind style, blow away, said Naruto as a strong gust of wind emerged from his hand, blowing Dosu all the way back with his teammates. Shikamaru saw this and decided to emerge from the bush by throwing his body out, which also threw Kin's body, which collided with Dosu's flying body, which ended the shadow possession. Shikamaru and Ino made their way over to Hinata and Naruto. Naruto was now using Shikamaru as support. As they regrouped, Zaku finally got to the wires and was pissed. You think it's that easy to defeat me, said Zaku as he pointed his hands towards the group, decapitating airwaves. A huge air wave came towards the group. Thinking quickly, Naruto pushed the three out the way and took the blow of the attack, which knocked him into the tree that Shino and Sasuke were in, which was a mistake, as with that Sasuke started to wake up, but this time a foul chakra surrounded him. Everyone paused to notice the chakra, including Zaku, which resulted in Naruto collapsing, as at that point only thing keeping him up was the airwaves. Sasuke emerged from the tree with strange fire-like markings on the left side of his face and arm. His Sharingan was active, but he wasn't saying a word. He looked around to grasp the situation. He saw Lee collapsed unconscious on the ground. An exhausted Hinata, who looked even more damaged than before, and his best friend on his knees looking like he's about to vomit. "Who did this?" asked the Uchiha to no one in particular. No one knew how to answer him in this state except one. "I did," said Zaku, a little too excitedly watch. Zaku did another airwave directed only at Naruto. The airwave knocked Naruto back into a nearby tree as he didn't have time to defend himself. Sasuke saw this and was pissed. In a blink of an eye, he was right next to Zaku, gripping both of his hands in anger. "It seems you value these arms a lot." Sasuke brought the hands behind Zaku by stretching the arms backwards. He made Zaku kneel as he put on foot on Zaku's back, making his arms stretch even further. Everyone saw this and was shocked by the level of violence Sasuke was displaying. They had trouble gathering words, but luckily Ino could. "Sasuke, stop this," said Ino. "Why?" "They hurt Naruto and Hinata. I should only return the favor," said Sasuke as he kept torturing Zaku. "We already had the advantage. It was 4 against 1, said Ino. "You call that 4 against 1, said Sasuke, referring to Hinata and Naruto. "Naruto already beat the other two. We all just got caught off guard," explained Ino. During that exchange, Naruto had taken a pill to get over his nausea and seemed more or less good. He saw what Sasuke was doing, but paid it no mind. He quietly made his way over to Dosu and can see if they had the scroll, which Dosa did. He saw it was an Earth scroll, the one Team 7 had needed, as he saw that Hinata had a Heaven scroll on her since she couldn't leave it with two unconscious teammates. Naruto tossed the Earth scroll Sasuke's way, and with Sasuke's reflexes, he let go of Zaku's arm and caught it effortlessly. "You won, Sasuke. Let him go. They need to try to find 2 scrolls now, while we can go and get rested up," said Naruto as he put a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. Sasuke started to calm down as the markings on his face and arm began to retract back to his neck. "Besides, you're going to need your energy later, trust me," said Naruto as his body flickered with Sasuke to their teams. Lee was picked up by his teammates Niji and Tenten, and they went their separate ways, while Sasuke and Hinata decided to wait for Shino to wake up as they didn't want to carry him, and Team 10 headed to their destination. "That could have gone better," commented Shikamaru. "Yeah, but hey, at least we're done the first day," said Naruto to lighten the mood. "Right? And we can get 4 days of R&R," said Ino. Team 10 got there with no further distractions and interruptions. It took them a second, but they realized they had to open both scrolls at the same time and move on. The scroll they had released Irika, who congratulated them for passing the second exam with the third fastest time ever. "Who has the fastest time?" asked Ino. "Well, the second fastest was by the Sannin back when they took the exam," said Irika, "but the fastest time had just been broken by the Suna team with the siblings. Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro," added Naruto. "Yeah, that's the one they were here about 3 hours ago," said Irika. "Anyways, go on upstairs, and you should meet up with your sensei." Team 10 followed suit. They arrived to see that they were somehow one of the first teams to arrive. They were guided to a room by one of the Chunin to rest and wait until the second exam was over. They were soon greeted by Asuma. "Well, looks like I did something right, seeing as you all got here in record time," said Asuma. "Yeah, we could have got here faster," said Shikamaru. "What do you mean?" questioned Asuma. "Well, we made a truce with Team 7 and 8, and I gave Sasuke and Sakura earbuds to communicate with said Naruto. After we got our second scroll, Hinata got in contact with us and was saying how both Sasuke and Shino were knocked out by this fake Kusa ninja." "Fake Kusa ninja?" "Yeah, she was saying how the person's skin peeled off to reveal someone else, and she had summoned a giant snake to take out Shino while her and Sasuke handled the ninja," said Ino. Later on, Shino somehow beat the snake, but was out of chakra and collapsed when he finally made it back to them. And during their fight, the ninja bit Sasuke and left a mark or seal on his neck, which knocked him out. Then the ninja fled, said Shikamaru. "And to me, it all points signs to Orochimaru. The ninja that tried getting Sasuke and attacking Hinata later were Sound Ninja, who were specifically after Sasuke, And nada nada, said Naruto. The seal looked like the curse mark Anko has, and snakes are a rare summon. I hate to agree. I'll let Anko, the Hokage, and all the other Jonin, but we can't speculate that Orochimaru has ties with the Sound Village yet, said Asuma. Yeah, they all, or the most as we never saw the girl's technique, but the two use sound-based attacks, so we think there's a connection between them and EUI, said Shikamaru. The sound-based weapons being in the Sound Village isn't an impossibility. If anything, it strengthens, but we didn't get much info from EUI when we interrogated him, so we have no idea if he was talking about Odo, but I'll run it by Ibiki, said Asuma. But don't worry about that stuff, rest up, and I'll be right back. As Asuma walked out the room, he immediately greeted by Kakashi. You overheard? Asked Asuma as he calmly got a cigarette out his pack and began to light it. Yeah, I'll have to see Sasuke myself to confirm if it's really a curse mark, since that right there means Orochimaru is in the village, but I won't be able to do much with Jiraiya out the village, said Kakashi. Out of all times for him to be out, sighed Asuma as he kept smoking his cigarette. With my father's old age, Jiraiya is the strongest in the village, and we need him here. I'll go tell Anko to discreetly search the forest of death while you spread the word to the other Jonin. Then I'll go tell the Hokage myself, said Kakashi. Right, said Asuma as they both body flickered away. Chunin exams continued. It was the final day. All the teams that made it on the last day were given the morning to rest, but they were all called down for something important. But Naruto was in no rush. He was calmly sitting on his bed writing seals he was working on. As he was working, Shikamaru was napping, as this was one of his favorite pastimes. Ino was getting ready, making sure she had everything ready. All right, shurikens, kunai, virus, explosive tags. Anything I'm missing? Said Ino out loud to no one in particular. Sword, calmly, said Naruto as he crumbled up a piece of paper that he messed up on. Got it, said Ino as she patted it, which was clipped to her headband, which she uses as a belt. How your tags coming? You think we might be able to use them soon? The wind variant is probably the safest, but the others are not ready yet, as I need to test them outside, said Naruto. I still don't understand how you do this, commented Ino. It's simple. I use the explosive tags as a basis, since explosions are fires in basic concept. So I remove the fire element in the tag and write a wind equivalent in their place to make a different effect, but I have to take and affect the time portion of it, which is the tricky part, and Naruto started, until Ino put her hand over his mouth to have him stop talking. What? Said Ino. He switches fire with wind in the explosive tag, said Shikamaru, who was finally done napping that, and Ino's voice was loud. Oh, said Ino, why didn't you say so? I did, said Naruto. Whatever. We should get down. We don't want to be the last one there, said Ino as she made her way to the door. Shikamaru and Naruto followed suit. They made their way down with all the other teams. There was 10 teams in total, equaling a total of 30 Genin Pass. The third Hokage was explaining the purpose of the exams, most of which Team 10 already knew thanks to Asuma, but they still paid attention to show respect. When the third Hokage finished, a Jonin named Hate stepped up to explain the third exam. Seeing as we have too many Genin, we are going to have a preliminary round to help eliminate more Genin, but before we get into that, is there anyone who would like to forfeit before I continue? Said Hate with a few coughs in between. The only ninja that forfeit were Dodai, who had a very visual broken arm, as it was in a cast already, and Kabuto, who claimed he wasted too much chakra. With those two gone, we still have 28 Genin, so we're going to have a series of one-on-one matches where the winner moves on to the final exam, said Hay with a couple coughs. The screen above will select from randomized names and pair up two of you to fight. The fight is over when one side admit defeat or when I declare it's over, said Hay. The third Hokage decided to step up to add a couple details. As recognition of the many genin that have made it to this point, you will get your credit amongst your villages for this preliminary round. As with the other two in your consideration to become chunin, we have many ways to let your villages know of your progress in this exam. One example are your senseis, said Hiruzen. All right, with that, we will start immediately. As soon as the first two are chosen, the rest go up the stairs and await your turn, said Hay as he gestured to the screen, which was rotating quickly through names. Temari and Tintin stay down, everyone else up. Once everyone made it up, Hay started the fight. Tintin immediately started by throwing shuriken, but it just seemed to fly right off of Temari. Wind, said Naruto as he was commenting on the fight. What do you mean, wind, Naruto? Asked Lee. Niji activated as Byakugan. I see Temari is using wind chakra to shield herself from the attacks, said Niji. Tintin aim isn't off, she just blocking them. As they were discussing this, Tintin started to use her Rising Twin Dragon's jutsu after seeing that regular kunai and shuriken weren't working. As soon as she started to throw all her weapons, Temari grabbed her fan. Second moon, said Temari as she opened her fan to show two circles on it as she blew all of Tintin's weapons back at her. As Tintin landed with a lot of cuts on her, she made a quick glance at her team. Niji was stoic as usual. Lee was cheering her on, and Guy was doing his standard thumbs-up pose. Yeah, she was stuck with a bunch of taijutsu experts. Taijutsu. Let's see if all those ridiculous training methods were put to use, thought Tintin. Tintin charged Temari as she picked up a staff she had on the ground and proceeded to engage her in Kinjutsu and Taijutsu. Tintin started twirling her staff to help hide her movements. Temari was trying to anticipate the move, but couldn't fully, as subsequent clashes led to Tintin using the staff as a balance to kick Temari back, but Temari didn't take much damage. Tintin was more than holding her own as she was getting good hits in, but Temari was no foreigner to Taijutsu, as she closed her fan to use as a close-range weapon. Temari managed to push Tintin back, but Tintin wasn't done. She picked up twin swords and went back to engage in close-range combat. This time, Temari was more of the defensive, as swords are more dangerous than a staff. Temari started to grow a little nervous as Tintin was extremely good up close. She would need to create distance again. She saw all the weapons on the ground and came up with an idea. She managed to push Tintin back enough to create enough space for her to use wind style. It's over, said Temari as she opened her fan to show all three circles on her fan. She uses her fan to engulf Tintin in a small cyclone, but Tintin's weapons were being drawn into the cyclone, scratching up Tintin with numerous cuts. The cuts grew too much for Tintin as she passed out in midair and landed on the ground roughly. Tintin is unable to fight. Temari wins, said Hate. Lee jumped down to take Tintin to the nurse himself as Temari made her way back to her team. The next match is colon, said Hate, as everyone looks towards the monitor. Omoy versus Chujuro. The two made their way down to the arena and prepared to face off. Omoy got his sword ready, while Chojuro looked nervous as he entered a basic fighting stance. Chojuro was a blue-haired teen that wore glasses and wore a Kiri-inspired outfit with his forehead protector on his chest. "He looks nervous," commented Naruto. "He does, and he doesn't seem comfortable in that form," said Shikamaru. "Maybe he's more of a support shinobi," said Ino. Meanwhile, overhearing the comments about 2 teams away, a white-haired ninja on the Kiri team started to loudly laugh. "Suigetsu, control yourself," said Haku. "Sorry, but Chojuro is not weak, he's—" "Never mind, you'll find out," said Suigetsu as he was getting a look from Haku. Ino looked annoyed by the Suigetsu. Shikamaru ignored him, and Naruto grew excited, hoping for a good fight. "Begin," said Hate. Chojuro immediately jumped back to create distance. He went into his ninja pouch to pull out a special blue scroll. He tossed it up in the air to unseal it, and as it unsealed, the sword came down, but not just any sword, but Hiramakerii of the 7 Mist Swordsmen. "Whoa, he's part of the 7 Mist Swordsmen," said Naruto. "Yeah, I didn't know someone so young could be part of them," said Sasuke. "Yeah, I heard they're supposed to be an elite group, so he must be good," said Sakura. The rookies' teams were all next to each other with Team 10 in the middle, so they all could hear each other fine. Unfortunately, the fight didn't last long. Chojuro made Hiramakerii into his hammer form and slammed Omoy, who tried blocking into a wall, knocking him out cold. "Winner Chojuro," said Hate. Chojuro resealed his sword into the scroll and made his way back up. "He must not be strong enough to hold that sword for long instances," commented Asuma. "Why you say that, sensei?" asked Naruto. "Swords of that magnitude are heavy as well as chakra taxing, so it wouldn't surprise me if he keeps it sealed to save chakra and strength," said Asuma. "Next match," said Hate once again, Zaku versus Akatsuchi. Akatsuchi was a big guy, easily the tallest Genin, even taller than some Jonin like Kurenai and Kakashi. He was also big like Choji. He had a big nose, which made him distinguishable from others. "Begin." Earth Style, Golem Jutsu. Akatsuchi went through a few hand signs, and he expelled earth from his mouth. And as it finished coming out, a small golem came to form. It wasn't huge, it was probably around Naruto and Hinata's height. The golem was human-like, so it wasn't connected to Akatsuchi, so it was in its own fighting pose. "Cool," said Naruto, liking the jutsu. "What's so cool about it?" questioned Sasuke. "It's like making your own partner to fight with you like a man, made summon," said Naruto. Ultimately, the fight didn't last long. Zaka easily blew back the golem. Even though it was rock, it wasn't heavy enough to not get blown back, which was followed back by Akatsuchi trying a taijutsu effort, which landed him a few good blows, but Zaku was able to back him into a wall and knock him out with his airwaves. "Winner Zaku Abomi," said Hate. Next fight is Kiba Inuzuka versus Misumi. Kiba howled in excitement, with Akamaru joining him while Misumi calmly walked down. Again, the match didn't last long. Misumi tried using his strange, flexible body to try to attack Kiba, but Kiba's instinct and agility were too great, and he couldn't take a Fong over Fong from both him and his dog Akamaru, resulting in Kiba's victory. Winner Kiba Inuzuka. "Oh, thank goodness," said Kurenai. "What's wrong, Kurenai-sensei?" asked Choji. Nothing, she replied. Actually, me and the other Konoha Jonin had made a bet, and now she's safe, answered Asuma. What was the bet? Asked Shikamaru. We all bet on if we can have at least one Genin from our team pass. Then we're safe from a specific punishment, said Asuma. What the punishment? Asked Naruto. It's different for each of us, said Kurenai, who had a blush on her face from embarrassment. So since Kiba, one Kurenai sensei, is safe, so if someone from each team wins, then what happens? Asked Sakura. Then no one will be punished, answered Kakashi. But if the person gets more than 2 members, there's a prize. Prize? Questioned Sasuke. You'll have to see to find out, said Kakashi. Next match, Choji versus Karui. Said Hate. Choji made his way down after getting cheered on by his friends and was nervous while his Karui was standing in confidence. Why does Choji look so nervous? He's not even this nervous on missions, asked Sakura. Well, if Shikamaru hates fighting girls because they're troublesome, then Choji doesn't like fighting girls because he's too kind, said Naruto. Too kind? Questioned Sasuke. Doesn't like fighting for no reason in general. It doesn't help that he was raised to respect women so much, said Shikamaru. So him fighting a girl seriously could be a problem. Begin. Karui charged Choji with her sword, but Choji didn't want that thing near him. So he dodged the first slice by diving to the side and recovering with a roll. But Karui wasn't letting up. She prepared a stab, but Choji grew his hands with a partial expansion jutsu and grabbed her and her sword and threw her out the way. But it wasn't aggressive enough. As she quickly recovered and made her way back to Choji, he decided to meet her halfway with his human boulder, which knocked her farther back than before. As she landed roughly on the ground, Choji kept his momentum and prepared the final blow. In a last-ditch effort, Karui stalked her sword out in desperation, but Choji used one hand to grab the sword and move it out the way so he can use his enlarged other hand for the blow. But he hesitated, and in that hesitation, she quickly flowed lightning chakra through her sword, electrocuting Choji briefly, and as he recovered, she held the sword to his chin. I forfeit, said Choji, recognizing his defeat. Winner Karui. Okay, what? How'd he lose that? Said Ino. Told you he's too kind. He couldn't bring himself to hurt a girl for no reason. So he hesitated, and she didn't, answer Shikamaru. He did good, though. Karui helped Choji up in good sportsmanship, and they made their way back up to their respective teams. Next match, Kankuro versus Shino. Kankuro wasted no time and unveiled his puppet crow that was wrapped up on his back. Shino's insects also started to emerge and become more visible. Kankuro sent his puppet towards Shino. Shino noticed the hidden blade and managed to dodge the incoming attack. Once the blade connected with the ground, he saw the poison leak onto the ground, knowing to avoid it. Kankuro tried again once more, but Shino avoided it again as well. Kankuro keeps trying to pin down Shino, but Shino managed to cover himself with a smoke bomb. Shino threw kunai at the puppet, and once it connected, it went up in smoke, revealing to be a substitution. The puppet then came from behind, preparing to strike Shino once again, this time with kunai. The kunai connected only for Shino to the dissolve himself into. A bug clone. Those things are annoying, commented Kankuro, frustrated at the false belief of victory. Shino came from Kankuro's blind side and threw a punch, but Kankuro avoided it and created distance for himself. "Not too bad. Sneaking behind me," said Kankuro to his opponent. "It was simple, really. You fight long range. Making close range a good option," said Shino. "I'm just getting started," said Kankuro as his puppet revealed another hidden compartment, launching a poison smoke bomb. Shino tried covering his mouth and nose before escaping, but it was clear he was affected by a short of breath and kneeling on one knee. "Shino," said Hinata, worried about her teammate. "He's not done yet," reassured Sasuke. Kankuro prepared the final blow by having Crow stab him with a blade, but once again Shino dissolved in a bug, showing to be another insect clone. Kankuro spotted Shino and tried to make his move, but Crow was not moving, revealing that Shino's insects got into Crow's joints and now crawling along Kankuro's chakra strings. Kankuro managed to sever his chakra strings himself, and he reinstalled them to launch his head that had a hidden blade in his mouth. But Crow seemingly stopped and fell inches from Shino. Kankuro noticed that the bugs had made his way to him as they were crawling all over his body. "How I got rid of the chakra strings," exclaimed Kankuro. "I planted insect on you a long time ago in this match," said Shino, making Kankuro eyes widen in surprise. "When I went for the punch, I only pretended to miss and planted a female on your headband." "And where did all the others come from?" asked Naruto back in the stands with the others. "A female insect can release a distinct scent to attract males. It's how they usually find a mate," explained Hinata.